We're just about ready to go. Referee Eugene Calhoun is out there with the football. Southern California won the toss, elected to receive. Notre Dame will kick off, and Scott Hipple will do the kicking for the Fighting Irish. So we're just about ready to get this one underway. Well, Farsigan has been very impressed, as he told us, by Trojan quarterback Jimmy Jones, who led Southern California on a 9-play, 85-yard drive in the final 55 seconds for a cliffhanger, 26-24 triumph over Stanford on Ron Aielia's game-ending field goal. Harris and Davis are going back in the deep spots now for Southern California. Here's the much heralded Clarence Davis, 5'11", 194-pound junior from Los Angeles. Harris and Davis are deep, and here's Hipple moving forward. Good high end-over-end kick, and waiting for it is Davis. He takes it on the 10. Goes back to 15, goes to the 20. Gets away from one tackle. Is brought down finally on the 23-yard line when he's gang tackled by Notre Dame. In there was Kelly, number 42. Number 86 in there for Notre Dame was Jim Massey. And so it will be first down and 10 to go now for Southern California. And with the ball on their own 23-yard line, and that was a return on from the 10 to the 13 yards. Wide to the left now goes Sam Dickerson. The I formation. The top of the I is Davis, and Jimmy Jones is the quarterback. And the crowd is making so much noise at Notre Dame that they cannot hear the signals. The officials ask for time, so they go right back into that huddle again. So I'll set him for you now. Jimmy Jones is the quarterback. Clarence Davis, Charlie Evans, and Gary Orskett in that backfield. And defensively for Notre Dame, they have Patuski, McCoy, Kadish, and Swinson up front with Kelly, Schumacher, and Olson, and Gasser, Ellis, Paniak, and Ratterman. Here's the I formation again, and the top of the I is Clarence Davis. Davis has been the leading rusher on this ball club. He's having a great year. And Jones on a give to Davis, running off right tackle, got good blocking, comes all the way up to the 29-yard line, and he's brought down by Ratterman as he reaches the 29. So a gain on the play of 6 yards, which will make it second down and 4. In rushing, Davis has carried 116 times and gained 658 yards. He's averaged 5.6 yards a carry, and in passing, Jones is 34 out of 74 and has 7 touchdowns. He's got 2 flankers to the left now. Orskett and Dickerson are flanked out to the left, and here's the give to the fullback instead, trying the middle, Charlie Evans. Evans is to the 34-yard line. He should have the first down for Southern California, and he does. The tackle was made by Bob Olson, the linebacker. Southern California band's taking the ball right to the strength of Notre Dame's defense right now. They're running at Mike McCoy and on the right side, and Larry Schumacher and Tim Kelly. The idea, of course, to feel out Notre Dame, see how strong that defensive left side is, and they're taking the fight right to them on the strong point. Dickerson out wide to the left again in the I formation. In the slot, they put Orskett, and here is the give to Davis up the middle. He goes to about the 36-yard line. And he's tackled right there. Swinson was in there along with Kadish and the linebackers. We'll wait for them to unpile and see where they'll mark it. They'll call it the 37. It will be a gain on the play of 3. Second down and 7 to go now for the men at Troy, the University of Southern California. And the ball resting on the 37-yard line of Southern California with a second down and 7 yards to go. Dickerson goes out wide to the left again. Mullins is the tight end. The I formation, the slot I formation. And Davis with the ball is going back to throw. He looks, he throws a wobbly pass to Dickerson, and he did not get it. He got it all right, but out of bounds. Over there to cover was Clarence Ellis. Let's go quickly down to the sidelines and Bill Etherton.
Well, down here I have Rocky Blyer, former captain of Notre Dame not too many years ago, just back from Vietnam, wounded there. Rocky, it's good to have you back here.
Well, thanks, Bill. It's really great to be back. I'm really glad to get to see this game. It's always been a great contest between these two teams. And
you ought to know you played in some of them.
That's for sure. And the way it looks today, it looks evenly matched. And the one most up for the game will win.
Dan, back to you.
All right, Bill. Wide to the right is Orskett. I formation again with Jones calling the signals. He's going back to throw once more. He's getting some time. He looks, he throws, and this one is over the head of the intended receiver, Sam Dickerson. And way over his head. So that will bring up the 4th down for Southern California as the 2 passes by Jimmy Jones, the sophomore quarterback from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but off their mark. He completed the other one, but out of bounds. So now forced into the kick formation here, the Southern California Trojans. And dropping back, Llewellyn going back. Llewellyn going back where John Young is going back to do the kicking. And dropping back with Llewellyn, number 21, Stepaniak. Here's the kick. Llewellyn takes it on the 22-yard line, slips and falls on the 21. He was being covered there and covered very well by Southern California's Alan Gallagher. It was a 41-yard kick. No return. It'll be 1st and 10 Notre Dame from their own 21.
Van, I think the wind's going to play an important part here. The wind kept that ball, hung it up there. Llewellyn went back to make the catch and really had to catch it high on his shoulder and slipped. And that's exactly why I didn't have a run back on that. The wind will play a very strong part in this. It's 17 miles an hour, and it's going to be at the back of the Irish now, but it's a little gusty out there, and it could play a great deal in the kicking game. Notre Dame now has the ball at their own 21-yard line with a first down coming up. 6 plays in all, run by Southern California. They went to the air unsuccessfully twice. They were capable and able to run it on the ground.
Well, evidently they're going to whistle it right back, Al, and there'll be a penalty against Notre Dame because the Southern California defensive team had come out on the field, and now here's a big penalty against Notre Dame. It'll be a 15-yarder, and that'll move the ball all the way to the 48-yard line. It will be a penalty against the Fighting Irish. Personal foul, which moves the ball to the 48-yard line and gives Southern California a first down and gives the Trojans a break in the early stages of this ball game. 13 minutes to go in the first quarter, no score. And the Trojans with a big break right now. DeCry is flanked out wide to the left. The I formation again with Clarence Davis in the top of that I, and here is the give to Davis. He tries the middle, goes to the 45. He is hit and shoved back to about the 46. I'm sure they will allow it to the 45, and Mike McCoy is the man who made the tackle for Notre Dame. And actually, they're going to put it on the 44. Olsen was also on the tackle. It'll be a gain of 4 on the play, and 2nd down and 6 to go now for the Trojans. Notre Dame using a 5 and a 6-man defensive line against Southern California. Out of the huddle now, and Terry DeCry, flanked out wide to the left. Gary Orskett is split out to the right. Now they're using the double wing formation. The fullback Evans is the setback, and Davis back to throw. Throws a quick one over the middle. It's completed to DeCry. DeCry is knocked out of bounds on the 32-yard line of Notre Dame. It'll be a first down for the Trojans. Ellis and Ratterman are the 2 men who knocked him out of bounds, and that's the 3rd first down for the Trojans.
12 yards on that pass play, and incidentally, I might add the first successful pass play that Jones has been able to get out there. He's not noted for being a passing quarterback, although apparently can do the job. He's passed for 7 touchdowns in the first 4 games.
DeCry is flanked out to the right now in the I formation again. Signals are being called by Jones. He gives it off to Davis. Davis runs right through the middle, goes to the 25-yard line, is dropped on the 25. And McCoy and Olsen were in on the tackle, along with Gasser and Kadish for Notre Dame. And the ball is right on the 25-yard line now. The series originating on the 32. That will be a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. And the Trojans, taking advantage of that penalty break, are moving the ball. They have it on the 25. 2nd down and 3 to go. We have 11 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first quarter, and there's no score at South Bend. The wing I formation now. Top of the I is Davis. Here's to give the fullback Evans. Evans running off right tackle. Off the Notre Dame right tackle, gets to about the 23-yard line, and he was brought down by Fred Swinson, the defensive right end of Notre Dame. He's about a yard shy of a first down, with 3rd down coming up for the Trojans. The Trojans with Bill Redding at center, Lieber and Kosigan at the guards. They have Smith and Bella at the tackles, Mullins and Dickerson at the end. And the ball is resting on the 22-yard line, which means 3rd down and just about a yard to go for the Southern California Trojans. Out of the huddle they come with DeCry stood out wide to the right. Orskett is in the slot to the right in the I formation, with Jones calling the signals for Southern California. He gives it to Davis, and Davis has got a first down. He hits to the 19-yard line. That's 4 first downs for Southern California. He's stacked up by the middle of that line, and there's Olsen along with Kadish again to make the tackle, and the defensive end, Patuski, and they bring him down on the 19-yard line, but it's 1st and 10 to go for Southern California. They're running from the 19-yard line of Notre Dame. So the Notre Dame defense with their work cut out for them now as the Trojans are moving in this sustained drive. Wide to the right again goes Orskett. DeCry is flanked out to the left, so they have 2 flankers in the I formation. Evans right behind the quarterback, Jones. And Davis behind him to dot the I. And here's the give to Davis. Davis tries the middle, and he's gang tackled as he reaches the 16-yard line. And coming up from the secondary was Larry Schumacher to make the tackle for Notre Dame along with Radaman. But the Trojans are moving. They're down in the Notre Dame 15-yard line now, and there was a gain on that play of 4 yards, so it'll be second down and 6. And as Al mentioned a moment ago, they're running right into the strength of Notre Dame in that defense. And they're getting good blocking up there with Kosigan and Leamer in the center, Redding, who are doing an excellent job of giving them some running room. They're grinding out 3, 4, and 5 yards at a time, but they are moving the ball. They have it on the 15-yard line. Out wide to the right is Gary Orthcutt. In the I formation, DeCry is split out to the left. And here's the quarterback, Jones, going back to throw. He throws one. It's caught at the 10-yard line. Caught at the 10-yard line. The tackle was made over there by Radaman. The ball was caught by DeCry of Southern California. And DeCry so far this year has caught 5 passes going into this game.
They're using the comeback patterns there now. That's the third time that DeCry has gone down. The first catch for him, but the third time he's gone down and made the turn back, almost a button hook pass, going down and coming back. For the defender over there on that side of the line, it's a very difficult job because he looks like he's going on the fly pattern, then cuts back and makes the catch.
They flubbed the zone to the right this time with 2 flankers. It's 3rd and 1. Jones calling the signals again. Ball is on the 10-yard line of Notre Dame, and Jones is rolling, hands it off this time to Davis, and Davis is hit at the 11-yard line, but there's a flag down on the play. And Mike Kurdish is the man who made the tackle for Notre Dame on Davis. It was illegal procedure against Southern California. Now let's see if Notre Dame declines the penalty. If they do, it'll be 4th down. So here's the decision. If not, it will be a 3rd down, and Captain Olson is talking to the referee, Calhoun. If he declines it, it will be 4th down for Southern California and about 1.5 yards to go. If he has the walk-off, it'll be back on the 16-yard line, but it'll be only 3rd down. So my guess is he's going to turn this one down, and he does, and it's 4th down. So let's see what Southern California does right here. The penalty has been declined, so it's 4th down for Southern California with the ball on the 10.5-yard line. And Southern California is going to go for it. They do not have Aiello, the kicker, in there. He's the man who won the game in the last seconds against Stanford last week.
Then 4 times last week they tried 4th down plays to make the 1st down, and 3 out of the 4 they made it.
All right, they have 2 flankers out wide to the right. Signals are being called by Jones, the quarterback. He's got about 1.5 yards to go, and he gives it to Davis, and I believe he's got it. He's tackled, but he's down to about the 8-yard line. Petrusky, McCoy, Cadence, and Quinton and Kelly were all in there, but I believe he made it. And it's a 1st down for Southern California on the 8-yard line, and that's 5 first downs for them, so the Trojans gamble, and they made it. We have 9 minutes to go in the first quarter, and there's no score. Southern California and Notre Dame from South Bend, Indiana, with a jam-packed stadium. The skies are overcast now. Out wide to the right goes Gary Orthcutt. Split to the left is Ted DeCry. Signals are being called now by the quarterback Jones again in that I formation. And Jones gives it off here to his fullback, and there's a fumble. And Notre Dame has recovered the ball. Notre Dame number 24. Larry Schumacher is right in there on top of that ball. And so Notre Dame gets a big break as Charlie Evans, the fullback, fumbles. And Notre Dame recovered on the 7.
67 yards, around 67, I believe, that Southern Cal took the ball and marched all the way down to the 8-yard line, losing it on the fumble. The Irish take over beautifully on their own 7-yard line.
Joe Theismann in there running from a straight T formation now with Gatewood set out to the right, and the give is to the fullback, Ed Ziegler, and Ziegler's hit right at the 5, and let's see, the whistle blew. Southern California came up with the football, but the whistle is blown right there on the 6-yard line. So he lost a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 11. Weaver, Cowling, Smith, and Gunner up front with Jensen, Scott, and defensively for the Southern California Trojans. Gatewood is flanked out to the left. It's 2nd and 11 to go. And the give is again to Ziegler, and Ziegler gets to the 6, and he's hit again. Left side of that line, Charlie Weaver and Al Cowlings and Gary Shaw. Gary Shaw, the safety man, coming up. So mark that ball on the 6 and make it 3rd and 11.
Connie Smith making great pursuit there. This big tackle from Beaumont, Texas, weighs 267 pounds, and he just pushes him around up there in that front wall. The Irish offensive line is going to have a job this afternoon with Smith and with Cowlings.
Notre Dame with two flankers. They set Gatewood out wide to the right, and Theismann is rolling out to the left. He's going to run with the ball, and he's going to be dropped right on the 7-yard line. There was Tyrone Hudson, the right cornerback, who diagnosed that one, so it's 4th down for Notre Dame. And they will have to kick with the ball on the 7-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 10. And dropping back for Southern California, number 16 is Sandy Durko, coming back in the safety spot, and dropping back with him is Tyrone Hudson. So they're back in the double safety. And D'Arietta is back in the end zone to kick for Southern California. There's no score in the first quarter, and here's the left-footed boot. Low kick, hitting and bounding around on the 43, and it's taken there by Southern California. And there's a block out there, 2 more blocks, and down to the 33-yard line goes Hudson with that ball. Tyrone Hudson swinging out wide to left. They got some blocks out there and moved them down to the 32-yard line, so the Trojans are right back again. That was a 36-yard kick and a 10-yard return.
Al Cowling made the key block on that, Van. He really took a man out there to be able to spring this runner loose, to get Hudson loose. Hudson might have been brought back at the 45 because he dipped way back to go to the far sideline, but that key block by Cowling sprung him loose and took him down to the 32.
Out wide to the right now is DeCryer again in that wing I formation with Davis in the top of the I. Jimmy Jones, the sophomore quarterback, calling the signals. Jones going to give to Davis, and Davis is hit as he reaches the 30-yard line. He got 2. And there making the tackle was Bob Olson, the linebacker for Notre Dame, with the ball on the 30. We have 6 minutes and 35 seconds. There has not been a timeout in this first quarter. The ball on the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8 to go now for the men of Troy. The Southern California Trojans. Davis so far has carried the ball 9 times and gained 32 yards. Out wide to the right is Orcutt as the only flanker this time. Jones has them in the I formation again, and Jones is going back to pass. He's rolling out the right. He looks, he throws. It's caught at the 18-yard line by Orcutt, the flanker, and Orcutt is chased out of bounds by John Gasser and Stepaniak, who chased him out, but it's a 1st down for Southern California. That's 6 first downs for them. They have it on the 18-yard line of Notre Dame, so the Trojans are right back knocking on the door again.
Southern Cal used the flood pattern there, sending Gary Mullins down and out at about 15. Orcutt went down and out at about 18, and one of the two had to be open there as the defensive backs went over to cover, and it just happened to be Orcutt who made the catch.
They flood the zone to the left this time with Orcutt and DeCrye. DeCrye is wide, and the give is to Davis, and Davis is the 15-yard line, and tackled at the 15 by Tim Kelly, the left outside backer, along with John Gasser. And so the Trojans have the ball on the 15.5-yard line. Gain of about 2.5 on that. Let's call it 2nd down and 7. 5:49 to go. And checking in now, number 39, Humphrey Covington at fullback, replacing Charlie Evans. Covington is from San Diego, 6 foot, 190-pound senior. He's in the backfield now for the Trojans. Out to the right goes DeCrye. To the left is Orcutt. So 2 flankers in the I formation for Southern California. And back goes Jones to pass again. And he throws one that is incomplete. Down on the 9-yard line, flanker Gary Orcutt was the intended receiver, and it's incomplete. Stepaniak was back there to cover, and now checking in for Notre Dame. And into the secondary for the Fighting Irish is Jim Wright. Wright is coming in, and they're taking Kadish out of there, so they figure now that Southern California with a 3rd down situation, they want to get a little more speed in there to cover on the passing of Jimmy Jones, the sophomore quarterback. They flood the zone to the left again, and Chandler is in there. He's been out with injuries, but Bob Chandler has just been sent in by John McKay, and here's the draw play to Davis. Davis is at the 10. Davis is at the 5. Davis is in the end zone, but there's a flag on the play. We got great blocking, ran off left tackle, but there was a flag on the play, a holding penalty against Southern California, and has whistled it back, and has nullified a touchdown for Southern California.
That holding penalty actually was over on the other side, on the near sidelines here, almost in open view of the booth here, and the play went to the far sidelines into the corner pocket by Clarence Davis for what could have been the touchdown. It's brought back, stepped out, and Southern California has the ball now moved all the way back to the Notre Dame 30, just short of the 30, just over the 30-yard line, about 30 and a half yards away. Then Radaman has come out of there, and going back into the line is Mike Kadish. So now the Irish will be able to put that front four back up there to try to charge Jones and to try to stop the running game. Around the 30-yard line, 30 and a half yards away, Southern Cal takes over with a big third down play coming.
Neidert has gone in, too, at the right outside linebacker spot. They're flooding that zone to left. Jones is going back to throw. Look at the time. He throws the home run ball into the end zone, and there's a scramble for it. It is incomplete in the end zone. A great save by Clarence Ellis. It was intended for Sam Dickerson. And there's the play that you recall that they tied Notre Dame last year at the Coliseum. Dickerson made that type of a play, except that time he caught it.
Sam Dickerson, he's already caught 2 touchdowns this year, picking up 10 passes in the first 4 games for 208 yards. He's a big boy from Stockton, stands 6'2", weighs 195, and he is their big gun to throw to. He and a fellow named Bob Chandler. Chandler, however, has an injured back. He broke a small bone in the back and has been out most of the year, but I understand is back in uniform today.
Back in kick formation goes Iolia. It's 4th down coming up, and he tries to kick this one out of bounds, and it's rolling around and finally goes into the end zone. Flags are down. It'll be a touchback. The ball will be brought back out to 20-yard line. 5 minutes and 3 seconds of playing time remaining. It will be Notre Dame's ball. We're in the first quarter, and there's no score. The Irish now with a penalty nullifying Southern California. A touchdown scored by Davis. So now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Irish from their own 20. And out of the huddle they come with Ziegler flank to the left and Gatewood split out to the right. Joe Theismann is the quarterback. He's got Bars as a setback. Denny Allen's in the slot to the right. Theismann calling the signals, and Theismann is going back to throw. He runs out to the right. He looks. He throws, and it is incomplete. Let's go to the sidelines now and Bill Everton.
With me is TV Sanders Wyatt or Hugh O'Brien. With a name like O'Brien, you should have been here before, Hugh.
Well, it's the first time I've had a chance to be at the stadium and watch the game in person. It's a big thrill. I've been a big Notre Dame fan for quite a while. I have mixed emotions about the game, but I'm on the Notre Dame side, and that's where my money is, too.
Back to you, Ben. Wide to the left now is Denny Allen. Gatewood is still out to the right. It's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's a draw play, and up the middle goes Denny Allen with it to the 25-yard line. Denny Allen on to pick up a 5 yards. And in there again, that secondary of Southern California, Sandy Durko, the cornerback, is an All-American. He's from West Covina. Jerry Shaw is the left safety, and John Young is the right safety, and Tyrone Hudson is on the right corner. And that front 5 is something else. They are big and tough. Gatewood is flanked to the right again. Here's the wing eye formation with Theismann calling the signals. 3rd and 5 for him, and he pitches it back to Denny Allen, following his blockers, but he gets only 2. He gets to the 27-yard line, and there he is tackled. And making it was Flau, along with Gunn.
Tody Smith jammed that play. This big fella is going to be awfully hard to run against here. Tody Smith, 267 on the right tackle spot. And Southern Cal used the 5-2-2-2 defense, actually, shifting those linebackers up close. Bob Jensen has the responsibility on the right side on the flat pad.
Hudson and Durko are deep. The Arietta gets that left foot into it. Kicks it down to about the 37. It's taken there again by Hudson. He's looking for some running room. He's being chased out there, and he's trying to tackle back on the 30-yard line. And it was Ziegler who got down there and slowed him down. And then the tackle was made secure by Gary Cox. So the ball is marked on the 31. It was a 36-yard kick. And it will be Southern California's ball. 1st down and 10 to go from their own 31-yard line. And the Trojans are down there. They scored, but a penalty nullified. We have not had a timeout. This ball game has really been moving. We have 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first quarter at South Bend, Indiana. And Patrick along with Al Wester, Bill Etherton, and Paul Pentecost. Now they fled the zone to the right in the I formation with 2 flankers to the right. Sam Dickerson is out to the right. Jones calling the signals. Jones gives it to Davis, and Davis is hit as he reaches the 33-yard line, running off left guard. And then there's Kadish, and on the tackle for Notre Dame, along with Mike McCoy and Petruski, the defensive end. So mark the ball on the 33, a gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go for Southern California. And the Trojans have controlled that football here in the first quarter.
John Radaman came charging up there from the outside linebacker spot on the right and met this fella head on. And these linebackers are going to have to do this all afternoon because this Davis is so slippery and so fast.
Dickerson is to the left. Orthcutt is flanked to the right. And it's the double wing formation, and Jones throws a pass that is incomplete off the fingertips of Sam Dickerson, who was split out to the left, incomplete. That brings up a third down. Clarence Ellis, who made a great save in the end zone a moment ago, was the man who was covering on the play. 3 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the first quarter. Still no timeout. And coming back in now is Terry DeCry at that split end, and Dickerson goes out. They alternate at the split end. So the ball is resting on the 33. It will be a third down, an 8 situation. Wide to the right is Gary Orcutt, the flanker. Split to the left is Ted DeCry. It's the double wing formation now. The one setback is the fullback, Charlie Evans, who's back in there. And here's Jones on the draw play, and Mike McCoy's got him at the 34-yard line. McCoy played that draw play perfectly. He just reached right around the blocker and got Evans and pulled him down on the 34.
Well, McCoy has had the problem now of having him double teaming. Steve Leamer and Sid Smith have been double teaming in the right guard and the right tackle. Notre Dame then had shifted into a 3-man pass rush. McCoy was driving on the right side. They didn't double team him, and he just took the one man trying to hit him and pushed him out of the way.
Lou Allen is deep now, and here's the kick now. And this one is angling for the sidelines and hits around the 32 in Notre Dame territory. There's a timeout on the field with a score Notre Dame nothing, Southern California nothing. Heisman back to throw, and he throws over the middle. It's completed out there to Dewey Poston, the tight end. He grabs it at the 39-yard line and plows the man who made the tackle for the Southern California Trojans. The ball resting on the 39, the series originating on the 32-yard line. So a gain on the play of 7. Notre Dame breaking out of the huddle with Ariard over the ball. Constance and Nardo the guards. Riley and Brennan are the tackles. They send Gatewood out wide to the right along with Jimmy Allen. And here's the give now to the fullback. Ziegler running from the fullback. He's straight ahead to about the 43-yard line. Ziegler running straight ahead. And there was the middle guard, Scott, who made the tackle. There's a time now while we get the chain out here for a measurement. We've got 1 minute and 7 seconds of playing time remaining in the first quarter of this ball game at Notre Dame Stadium. The series originated on the 32. The ball is on about the 43, so it looks like they might have enough for the first down. You'll hear a roar, which will tell you it's going to be an inch or two one way or the other. It's about 3 inches. Originated actually on the 33, and we missed it by, Notre Dame missed it by about, as you said, 3 inches, Van. They brought the chains out to check it off there, but it was on the side. It was obvious as they put the ball down. It was going to be very, very close. Well, Notre Dame's going to go for it. 4th down on their own 43, and the Irish are lining up not in punt formation, but in a very, very tight formation when they like to jam out that extra yard. All they need 3 inches, but that's tough to get in this situation. Well, here's a big gamble to this ball game, and the give is to the fullback Bars. He was shoved back, so I don't know whether he made it or not. His forward progress move forward to about the 43 and a half. Let's wait and see when they unstack him. The middle of the line, and they're jamming him up. Weaver, Cowling, Smith, Gunn, Jensen, and Scott. So they're going to get the chain out again. This time it looks like he's got it. And you'll hear the holding of collective breaths now from the Notre Dame wording section while this chain is being brought in. 53 seconds to go in the first quarter, no score. So the crowd will tell you whether it's a first down or not. So we'll just sit back and listen to this. It's the first down for Notre Dame. They gambled in their own territory on their own 43-yard line and made it. Now they send Denny Allen out wide to the right as the only flanker. The 2 setbacks, the pro set formation with the 2 setbacks, Bars and Ziegler, and the give is to Ziegler, and Ziegler's to the 46-yard line with it. He got about 2 on the play, and the tackle was made by Willard Scott, the middle backer, along with Al Cowling. In Cowlings and Smith of Southern California and Mike McCoy of Notre Dame, we have 3 of the greatest college tackles in the last decade on one field at the same time.
Van, the Irish are doing the same thing Southern Cal started with now, running right at their strength at Cowling, Tody Smith, and Willard Scott.
Heisman calling the signals. Heisman now giving it off to Allen. Allen cutting upfield. He's at the 50-yard line. He gets to the 49 into Southern California territory, and Jerry Shaw makes the tackle. He ran off right tackle. Slough was also in there, and he got it, let's call it the 50-yard line where they're going to mark it down. Bob Jensen was also in there. MacArthur was in there for a play, and Tody Smith was and here's the gun, and that's the end of the first quarter with Notre Dame nothing and Southern California nothing. on the midfield stripe. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Now we're just about ready to go in the second quarter of this ball game. Notre Dame has only one first down. Southern California has 6. The ball is on the midfield stripe. The ball belongs to Notre Dame. They have it third down and 4 yards to go. So the Irish out of the huddle with Mike Oriard over the ball. And they send Ziegler out wide to the left as a flanker. It's the close-up now with Bars and Denny Allen. Wiseman
using a 5-man front line. Southern California is able to have a little more strength in the middle than the 4-4 proposition.
Burko is dropping back with Hudson again in the double safety stop. The Ariana beats it. The high floating kick coming down on the 21. It's fumbled. There's a scramble for it. Let's see who got it. Southern California recovers. On the 19 or 18-yard line, it was fumbled by Southern California and then recovered by Sandy Burko. It was only a 28-yard kick. And so the Trojans take over. First down and 10 to go from their own 19-yard line. First down and 10 to go. This is Ron Patrick along with Al Wester and Bill Etherton from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. Southern California, Notre Dame in a scoreless battle here so far. 14 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first half of the ball game. The Trojans with the football. They're back in the huddle. Bill Redding leads them out of it. Wide to the left now comes Ted DeCry. It's the I formation with 2 flankers. And the signals are being called by Jones. This is going back to throw, and he throws one that's incomplete at the 31-yard line. Jerry Orcutt was the man who was the intended receiver, and there was a flag on the play, and it's offside against Southern California. And let's see what Notre Dame elects to do. The ball will be brought back. And the officials are discussing it now with Bob Olson, the captain of Notre Dame. Of course, he can keep the down box moving around and make it second down here instead of the first and 15, so he'll just keep it second down and 10 from the 19.
Next Saturday night, then, we've got a big one in my hometown down in New Orleans and Tulane University and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame battle. It's our first of 2 Saturday night battles. Tulane and Notre Dame on Saturday night from Sugar Bowl Stadium in New Orleans.
Out wide to the right goes Chandler, who's back in there again, but out wide to the right. Flip to the left is number 19, DeCry. Jones calling the signals, and Jones is going back to throw again. He steps up deep. He throws one that is incomplete. On the 33-yard line, it is incomplete. And DeCry was the intended receiver, and there was great defense on the part of John Gasser and Sapaniak of the secondary of Notre Dame.
Lance Ellison on that and making and putting on the pressure. That ball was right on the fingertips of DeCry. He had to go high for it, and Jones intentionally threw that high to keep away from throwing in a crowd as he had to do and give him too much to grab it or steal it away. Ellis is the man who shot him loose from that football.
DeCry and Orchard are flanked to the right. Chandler goes out. It's third and 10 from the Southern California 19-yard line. Here's Jones on the give to Davis, and he's hit right at the 19-yard line. No gain on the play. Notre Dame defense rising to the occasion on that third down. In there to make a tackle with Mike Kurdish, the right tackle from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
This big fella had 35 tackles going into this afternoon's ball game. He had 5 of them in which he threw the ball handler for losses of 26 yards. So Kurdish from Grand Rapids at 249, a sophomore, is a great comer, I think, in the next 2 seasons ahead.
Young is back to kick. Llewellyn is deep. There's a high, booming kick. Llewellyn is chasing the ball. It bounces, and he lets it go, and Southern California lets it roll, and that was a tremendous kick. All the way down to the 23-yard line. So it'll be first down and 10 to go now for Notre Dame. The ball on the 23. That was a 48-yard kick on the part of John Young of Southern California. They'll make it now first and 10 to go for the Fighting Irish. They have the ball on their own 23-yard line. It's Notre Dame nothing and Southern California nothing. It's South Bend, Indiana today, and this tremendous battle between 2 great teams, Southern California and Notre Dame. Denny Allen is flanked out wide to the right. They're in the I formation. Theismann is the quarterback. Ziegler's in the top of the I. Bars is right behind Theismann. Theismann rolling to the left. He's looking. He throws, and his receiver, Bill Bars, fell down before that ball could get to him. So it goes as an incomplete pass. The ball goes back to the 23, and I'm just chuckling here a moment. The Notre Dame coaching staff are up in the press box to my left, and they're really making a lot of noise right now. So So the ball is on the 23. Denny Allen is flanked out wide to the right. Gatewood is split to the left. Hoskin is the tight end on the right side. It's the double wing formation now with Bars the setback and Theismann rolling to the right. Throws one. It's completed to the tight end. Hoskin at the 30. And he's tackled right on the 30-yard line by Sandy Durko, the cornerback, and Jerry Shaw, the safety man. The action is right in front of you down there, Bill Everton. Dan, you're right, and former captain of Notre Dame, Rocky Blyer, standing right beside me. Rocky, comment on the game.
They played 2 years against Southern Cal. They looked as big as ever. Katie and McCoy, Olam's in the middle.
Back to you, Ben. Third down coming up and about 3 yards to go with the ball on the 30. Theismann almost had him outside, but they got back in time on his shot. He's going to run with the ball. Now he's going to throw. He throws deep, and it is incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Ziegler, almost intercepted by Tyrone Hudson of Southern California, and it's incomplete.
Well, it was a trap play for Hudson. He doesn't give him too much argument on that. He went up for the ball. At the same time, the receiver went up, and it was somewhat of a battle. Hudson, however, trapped it as it bounced. The fellow you've got to watch here in the cornerback that's real tough is number 16, Sandy Durko. He's the man who last year intercepted Joe Theismann's pass, ran it back for a Southern California touchdown in that 21-21 battle, and Durko already has 2 interceptions this year.
Richards is in there center, replacing Oriard to snap the ball back to Arrieta. And here's the boot. Durko is deep along with Hudson, and it's taken by Durko. He's going wide. Now he cuts upfield, and he's tackled back on the 34-yard line. Brought down on the 34-yard line, and making the tackle there for Notre Dame, number 61, Jim Wiley. 35-yard kick, and he lost the yard on the return. So now we'll set it up a first down and 10 to go for Southern California from their own 34-yard line. First and 10. No score. 12 minutes and 21 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half. Wide to the left is Ted DeCry. Terry DeCry. I called him Ted. Wide to the left. And in the slot is Orskett. The I formation, and the give is to Davis, and Davis is hit by Mike McCoy at the 36-yard line. He got 2 yards. McCoy, number 77, reached around that blocker again and made the tackle. So they'll mark the ball on the 36-yard line. So a gain of 2. Making second down and 8 yards to go now for Southern California. Coached by John McCain. And traditionally come up with a great ball club every year. Wide to the left comes Terry DeCry again. Here's the I formation. The top of the I is Clarence Davis. 5'11", 194-pound junior and a great runner. Signals are being called by Jimmy Jones, the sophomore quarterback. Jones gives fakes to Davis, goes back to throw, throws a home run ball, and look out. This one is batted down by Clarence Ellis. It was intended for DeCry. The home run ball, and once more, Clarence Ellis makes a fine save.
DeCry was down there about the 25-yard line, made a great attempt to grab the football. John Gasser fought him for it every inch of the way. It's incomplete, and back it comes to the 36-yard line. Southern California's passing game, as we pointed out earlier, is having its problems. Jones right now 3 for 11 for only 29 yards, and against Notre Dame, you do not run that ball too much. Not against a big front four like Kadish, McCoy, Petulski, and Twinson.
Third down and 8 yards to go with the ball on the 36-yard line of Southern California, the I formation. And Jones going back to throw again. He steps up, he throws, and this one is caught. It's caught at the 46-yard line. It might be a first down for the Southern California Trojans. A great reception over there by Bob Chandler. And it's a first down. And that's a total of 7 first downs for Southern California. So mark the ball on the 46-yard line. And make it first down and 10 to go for Southern California. They're still in their own territory. Bob Chandler, who's been out with injuries, but back in there today, and he's put to the left along with Terry DeCry. Here's the I formation, running from the first down now, from their own 46. And here is the give to Davis, and Davis is hit by McCoy. McCoy throws him back to the 43-yard line, but the penetration will be allowed back to the line of scrimmage. And also in there was Kadish and Clemson.
Those outside linebackers now have moved out a little, Radaman and Kelly, to turn the running plays into the middle. And I believe that Kadish and McCoy sitting on the stances that they're off, and they're set up on an angle to close that middle up. And Petulski and Twinson just about 3 yards outside of them. They're closing and keeping the running game inside, Dan, and that's going to be tough on Davis.
Covington has gone in at fullback, replacing Evans. The I formation, back goes Jones to throw again. This one's completed to Chandler at the 50. Chandler's at the 46, and is tackled and brought down. Making the tackle with Radaman. Davis gets rid of that ball, Jones in a hurry, and Chandler, who is a very elusive receiver, made the catch on the 50 and moved on to the 46-yard line of Notre Dame. Going to be third down, about a yard to go. With the Irish now back in their own territory again as Southern California has it with only a yard to go on the third down from the Notre Dame 46. No score. Second quarter. 10:20 to play in the first half. Wide to the right. Goes Chandler again. Now he drops inside to Cry. And they have two flankers to the right, and the give is to Davis, and Davis running up the middle. And he's tackled as he reaches the 42-yard line. He gets the first down for Southern California on the 42-yard line. In there making the tackle was John Gasser coming up from the secondary. They'll make it first and 10. And now coming back in here, number 19 to Cry, who just got number 18 rather. That's Dickerson coming in and going out as the Cry. That's a change that they split in for Southern California. Out of the huddle they come with Dickerson out wide to the right. In the slot is Chandler to the right on the I formation. The top of the I is Clarence Davis. And Jimmy Jones, the quarterback. Jones going back to throw again. He's being chased out there. He's still being chased. He's chased by McCoy. McCoy makes a grab for him. He throws, and it's incomplete. And finally, Kadish forced him into throwing the ball. And Kadish may have been hurt on the play. Mike McCoy and Kadish, the two big tackles. And the Notre Dame trainer races out on the field. So there's a timeout on the field with a score Notre Dame nothing, Southern California nothing. Mike Kadish has been doing a great job in there. Was injured on the play. He's being assisted over to the sidelines right now. Bill Etherton, can you see anything?
Well, we're giving it a close look, and I'll tell you one thing. The action has been the most vicious I've seen all year. Boy, they are really hitting down here, and you can hear it so loudly here on the sidelines. Back up to you.
Third and 10 coming up now. Out wide to the right goes Bob Chandler again in the I formation. So we have a new defensive tackle in there. Zekas has replaced him, and here's the quarterback going back, throwing out in the right flat, and it's incomplete. And in there at the quarterback, Chandler. Easel was in there at quarterback now, replacing Jones, and Chandler was the intended receiver. So we had just switched quarterbacks while we were checking on the injured player. Easel had gone in there at quarterback, and now he's going out, and Jimmy Jones comes right back in.
Bassel, Van. He's a boy from Anaheim, California. He's played very little this year, actually.
So he came in for one play and went right back out of there. Fassel has gone out, gone back to the sidelines, and back in is Jones. And here's Jones going back to throw, and McCoy tries to get him. He throws one, and this one is incomplete. Intended for Chandler down around the neighborhood of the 5-yard line. And covering was Stepaniak on the play, and it's fourth down for Southern California.
Again, we had the three-man line rushing for Notre Dame. The Irish looking for the long pass, expecting it, and putting the prevent defense in there. Now coming back into the game is Brian Llewellyn, the young fellow who was a walk-on, believe it or not. Walked onto the football field a couple of years ago. As a sophomore, said, I want to play football, and he's been playing with the Irish ever since.
Back in kick formation goes John Young. High pass from center, but he gets his kick away. Notre Dame tried to block it. The ball is rolling around and killed by Southern California down inside the 10-yard line and around the 6 or the 7. So that puts the Irish right back in the hole again. 9 minutes and 16 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half. It's Notre Dame nothing and Southern California nothing. And a tremendous ball game here at South Bend, Indiana. I'm waiting for the officials to place it down. It'll be on about the 7-yard line, or 6. 7-yard line it is. First and 10. That was a 35-yard kick on the part of John Young, who's doing a good job of kicking for the Southern California team. Fassel, the quarterback who was in there a moment ago, had attempted 12 and completed 5 going into this ball game today. He was in there for one play. The I formation now with Ziegler in the top of the I, and the give is to him. He runs off right guard to the 9-yard line. And the tackle is made by Slough along with Jerry Shaw, and they got him on the 9, a gain of 2, and Charlie Weaver was also in there. He's from Richmond, California, 6'2", 204. Nice to have Joe DeFranco of Newport Beach, California, here in our booth today. A regular Notre Dame listener and follower. And now Notre Dame comes out of it in the wing I formation. Both ends are in tight. And the give is to Denny Allen. And Allen is hit right at the 8-yard line. No place for him to go there. The right side of that line in there again. And Cody Smith and Jimmy Gunn, the right end, in making the stop for Southern California. And so Notre Dame going back in the huddle with a third down coming up, and the ball is on the line. It's third down and 8 yards to go. 8 minutes and 25 seconds of playing time remaining in the second quarter, and no score. Out wide to the left is Ziegler. Split to the right is Gatewood, and Theismann now needs a gainer to get out of deep trouble. He's back on the 10, and he's going back to throw. He looks, he throws, and it's incomplete. Oh, he threw one in dangerous territory out on the right side and sent it to Allen.
Charlie Weaver put tremendous pressure on. He slipped in over the line, and the big defensive left end from Richmond, California, was in there on top of quarterback Joe Theismann. Let's go down now to the sidelines and Bill Etherton. Bill?
Well, I had to wait a second to find out about Kadish because he went off on the Southern California side of the field. He's over here now. They're attending to him. It appears to be a bad knee, but I'll confirm that for you in a minute. Up to you.
All right, fine, Bill. We'll wait for that report. Here's a kick by DeArietta. The fair catch is called for on the 45-yard line in Notre Dame territory. One of the unsung advantages of B.F. Goodrich Silvertown radio tires is gas saving. Unsung because there's so much to say about the BFG radio's extra mileage and super traction. But the gas saving is a plus. It helps you come out ahead by buying the top of the line. As we've said before, radios perform better than ordinary tires. They roll easier. They use up less horsepower. That means you can save about a gallon of gas every tank full. Hard to believe? Only till you try them. Get BFG radios at your neighborhood BF Goodrich outlet. Now Jones back at quarterback. He's going back to throw. He's being rushed out there, rolling out the right. Touches his arm. He throws one. It's incomplete. Intended for Bob Chandler down on the 28-yard line. Chandler was covered over there. Covered by Larry Schumacher, the left inside linebacker. So it'll bring the ball right back again to the 46-yard line, where it'll be second down and 10 to go for Southern California. Now coming back in is the Cry. And Letu goes out. Dickerson goes out. So the ball is on the 46 at Notre Dame. It belongs to the Trojans at Southern California. They have it second down and 10 to go. Out of the huddle they come at the Cry. Split out to the right. In the spot to the right is Bob Chandler, who's a fine receiver. The I formation with the tight end Mullins on the left side. And Jones calling the signals. And Jones on the give to Davis. And Davis is tackled as he reaches the 44-yard line. He was hit in there by Larry Schumacher as he reached the 44. So he got two on the play, and it'll be third down and 8 yards to go now for Southern California. The Trojans with Bill Redding at center, Leamer and Kosigan at the guard. They have Smith and Vela at the tackles. Mullins is the tight end, and DeCry's in there at the split end. And in the backfield, they have Davis, Evans, Jones, and Orkin. Out of it they come with Chandler going out wide to the right. And DeCry split to the left. So they have the I formation with two flankers now with a third down situation. And back goes Jones to throw again. He lets it throw the sideline pattern way over the head of Chandler. Incomplete. 4 points.
And that's about the fifth or sixth time that Jones has used the sideline patterns, and he has just simply not been effective over there. He's been throwing with a man who has double coverage. Tim Kelly and Schumacher and Gasser, all three, have been on Bob Chandler. It's been double coverage all the way over there, and those sideline patterns have been so high, they were just absolutely unreachable. 5 completions, 17 attempts, 47 yards. That's all Jones has for the passing game.
Young is back in kick formation. The flag is down. He gets his kick away, and this fellow really booms him deep. And the ball is rolling around. It goes out of bounds on the 1-yard line. But a flag is down. It's illegal procedure against Southern California, so they'll have to do it over again. 43 yards on the kick, and so there's a break for Notre Dame. It would have been out on the 1. Let's go to the sidelines and Bill Evans.
And I just came back from taking a look at Mike Kadish. They have ice packs on his left knee. It looks like a bad sprain, but you never can tell. Sometimes those heal very, very rapidly. Hugh O'Brien, how's it look to you right now?
Well, I tell you,
You like your sideline seat?
this is the best seat in the house. And then standing in front of these guys, they're getting bigger all the time.
Back up to you, Ben.
The ball is moved back to the 49-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and 15 yards to go. 7 minutes, 6 seconds of playing time remaining. Actually, it's 4th and about 14, but Young is back in kick formation. Stepaniak and Lou Allen are back in the deep spots for Notre Dame. No score here in this first half. And Notre Dame really had the rush on the kicker that time. And the ball is rolling around. Notre Dame, and it's still rolling, and it's finally killed down on the 1 again. So they do it again. They come right back and do it again. 48 yards this time.
I don't believe it. That's the second time in the coffin corner. And right down there at the 1-yard line, both kicks. This time it rolled dead. The first time it went out of bounds, just missing the flag. The Irish have their backs against the wall with a first down on the Notre Dame 1-yard line.
Notre Dame's strategy that time was to have about 8 men rushing the kicker, but he still got it away for 48 yards that rolled dead on the one. So it'll be 1st and 10 to go for Notre Dame. They have the ball on their own 1-yard line. 6 minutes and 55 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half. No score. Wide to the left goes Ziegler. Gatewood is put out to the right, and Theismann is rolling out to the right. He's looking. He throws one, and it is incomplete, intended for Gatewood on the 15-yard line, and incomplete. The rush was on Joe Theismann, and Theismann trying to get out of trouble. He's in deep trouble back there with the ball on the 1-yard line. And he has it on the one with a 2nd down and 10 coming up. Next Saturday night, we'll be in New Orleans. We'll broadcast the Tulane Notre Dame game. Tulane gave Florida a big battle the other day and almost beat Florida, one of the top-ranked teams.
Very fine football coach down there, Jim Pittman, a great friend of ours, and they are right now playing Pittsburgh this afternoon. 18-17, Florida managed to win that ball game.
All right, Theismann on the keeper, got about a yard, that's all. Running right up the middle on the quarterback sneak, trying to get a little running room so he can get some kicking room. Plow, the right linebacker, made the tackle for Southern California. Tony Terry's in there now defensively at his tackle spot. Ball game is being broadcast all over America and shortwaved around the world, the American Forces Radio Network. Now wide to the right is Gatewood, and split to the left is Ziegler. They're in the double wing formation, and Theismann is going back to throw again. He's looking, he throws one, and it is incomplete, intended for Ziegler. Up on about the 17-yard line, and John Young was there. And it goes incomplete, so that brings up 4th down, and now D'Arietta will really have to kick under pressure.
You can expect the pressure to be doubled now. I have a feeling Southern California will put all the pressure on to block this kick, get it out of the end zone, and they're throwing everything up in that front wall. Tony Terry replacing Al Cowling there at one of the tackles. Now Cowling is back in that line to put even more pressure on the kicker.
D'Arietta gets it away, booms it out of there. It's a high floating kick, a good one under pressure. It's taken by Durko at the 45. He's to the 40, the 35, gets a block, and is finally dropped on the 28-yard line. And the tackle was made by Dewey Poskin, the tight end of Notre Dame. They're going to mark it at the 42-yard kick, and under great pressure, and a good kick by D'Arietta. So the ball is on the 29-yard line of Notre Dame. It's 1st down and 10 to go for the Southern California Trojans. They got quite a rooting section over there for Southern California today. Out of the huddle now. Flip to the left. Here's the cry. They line up in the I formation with Clarence Davis in the top of that I. The fullback Evans right behind the quarterback Jimmy Jones from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The pitch is back to Davis. He's got great blocking. McCoy has got it. He reached him at the 27-yard line and brought him down as he tried to go off right tackle and then pull out to the right. And McCoy made the tackle. Also in there for Notre Dame was Tim Kelly, the left outside linebacker. They will mark the ball on about the, let's see what they call it, the 28, so a yard gained on the play. Now coming in is Dickerson, and going out of there is Decry. They're alternating at the split end. Dickerson is flanked to the left. Chandler is also to the left, and they got a new football in there. They place the ball down on the 28, where it'll be 2nd down and 9 to go for Southern California. They're in the I with 2 flankers to the left, and Jones is going back to throw again. He goes deep, cuts up, incomplete, intended for Chandler, but incomplete.
I don't know what's wrong with Jimmy's depth perception here, but these sideline patterns are so badly thrown that you just can't believe this fella connected on 34 out of 74 attempts for 7 touchdowns previously. It hit 45% of his passes before, but this afternoon, Jimmy, for some reason, is just not getting the passes off on the sideline patterns. Again, he came to the near sideline, but it was way, way away from the intended receiver, and the receiver had possibilities of making a catch.
It's 3rd down now, with the ball still on the 28-yard line, and back goes Jones again. He's setting up. He goes deep. He throws, and it's incomplete. Down on the goal line, intended for Decry. It's 4th down. Let's see if we get Aurelia in here now. Clarence Ellis was back there to cover. And coming in is Ron Aurelia, who kicked the field goal with seconds running out on the ball game against Stanford last week, as Southern California won it 26-24 in a cliffhanger. And so Aurelia is out there now for Southern California. So let's see what happens.
And he's kicked 2 34-yard field goals. The big one, of course, at Stanford won it after the clock had run out, as you said.
He'll do a 45-yard field goal if he gets it an angle to the right. He's got a lot of distance on it, I want to tell you, and the kick is short. So there's a timeout on the field. With the score, Notre Dame nothing, Southern California nothing. The ball off to Ziegler. Ziegler trying the middle of the line, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Stop right at the 20-yard line. No gain on the play. The kick by Ailia was short. Notre Dame took over on their own 20. Scott made the tackle. They got to mark the ball on the 22, so let's give them 2 yards when they unpile out there. Checking in here defensively now for Notre Dame. Offensively, rather, for Notre Dame. 4 yards, back in the center. DiNardo and Coster at the guards. Brennan and Riley at the tackle. Mars is a setback along with Denny Allen, and wide to the right goes Theismann. He throws down to the 33-yard line to Billy Austin. Immediately on Jerry Shaw. And it's a first down for Notre Dame. And they have the ball on their own 34-yard line. A gain on the play of 14 yards. Notre Dame trying to get in good field position. They won it 2 times today. That's only their second first down with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the half. Gatewood is in tight. Hoskins in tight. It's the wing I formation with Theismann calling the signals. And there's the give now to Allen. Allen runs off left guard to about the 37. He runs into Slough right there, the linebacker on the right side. He got about 3, make it second down and 7 to go.
This fella Cowlings is playing a tremendous game out there at tackle. So is Cody Smith. Cody Smith, I might say, was injured at Michigan State last year. He is a brother, a big Bubber Smith, who plays with the Baltimore Colts. I'll have a chance to see Bubba in action tomorrow. But they tell me that Cody is meaner than his big brother Bubba.
It's a close formation now in the eye, and the Theismann going back to throw. He's rolling to the right. He's in trouble out there. He's still in trouble. He's trying to get out of it. He's brought down to the 35. He just couldn't get anybody open. The pressure was on him, and he's finally dumped by Willard Scott. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Patrick along with Al Wester, Bill Etherton, Paul Pentecost from South Bend, Indiana. 2 flankers now with a third down. The ball on the 34-yard line. 3rd and 10. Theismann going back to throw. Theismann pumps, throws to Gatewood. Incomplete. Covered there by Sandy Durko, the All-American cornerback of Southern California. Incomplete. It's 4th down for Notre Dame.
Sandy Durko, 6'1", 176 from West Covina, California. Fine defensive football player. Well, after moving to the best field position they've had here in the second quarter, the Irish now are going to have to go into punt formation from their own 35 with 2:55 remaining in the first half.
Theismann is 3 out of 10 for 29 yards. Durko is deep along with Hudson. D'Arietta boots this one. Not too long. It's taken by Durko on the fly, and he's tackled at the 37-yard line immediately. And the tackle was made. Number 64, Notre Dame, Brennan, down that field in a hurry on the 37, a 30-yard kick. So it'll be first down and 10 to go for Southern California. They have the ball on their own 37-yard line. They have controlled the ball throughout most of this first half. Notre Dame has really not been into good field position. Wide to the right now goes Sam Dickerson, and Bob Chandler's over there with him. It's the I formation, and Jimmy Jones calling the signals, and Jones going to give to Davis, and Davis is hit as he reaches the 42, but flags are down. Illegal procedure, backfield in motion against Notre Dame. Of course, it's hard for some people to believe that a product which costs more can actually save you money, but that's a fact you should know about. 6-0 Illinois leading Indiana. 3rd USC penalty, a total of 25 yards against them. Moved back to the 42-yard line. Utah State leading the Army. Here's the I formation with 2 flankers to the right. It's a 1st and 15 situation. And here's Jones going back to throw again. He throws one a mile. And down there is Dickerson. But he was out of bounds. He didn't hold it either. It's incomplete. And home run ball again. Ellis, that's back there with him. Incomplete. Comes back to the 32. And I want to tell you, it gives you a little thrill when he turns it loose, doesn't he, Al?
Well, he certainly puts it in the air. He doesn't hesitate to do that. He's got plenty of time because Notre Dame on these passing situations is going to the 3-man prevent defense, sending 3 men on the front line to rush. And the rush is not heavy on Jones. He's got time to set up, to really rear back and fire. And he throws them about 45 to 50 yards in the air.
Two flankers to the right, one to the left. They split the tight end out a few yards this time, and here's Jones giving off on the draw to Davis, and Davis breaks the tackle, gets to the 40-yard line, and is gang tackle as he reaches the 40. Headed back to the 40, and the series originated on the 37. Pittsburgh is leading Tulane 14-0 in the first quarter. Utah 14, Army 7 in the first quarter. Illinois 6, Indiana 0 in the first quarter. Scores of other games around the nation. Evans is back in. Covington had replaced him at fullback for a couple of plays. It's third down, about 7 yards to go now with the ball on the 40-yard line. The big play now for the Notre Dame defense with 2 minutes to go in the first half, no score. Two flankers, one each way. Jones calling the signals, and Jones is going back to throw again. He gets some time to set up, and this one is incomplete. Broken up again by Clarence Ellis, who's doing a tremendous job defensively for Notre Dame today.
Ellis with a great save there at the very last moment. DeCry had that ball in his fingers. He was just ready to pull it in, the big boy from Long Beach, California. And Ellis got to him and knocked it out of his hands. I think that might have been the most important play here in the last few minutes, certainly in this series. It means Southern Cal's got a kick, Van.
Llewellyn goes back along with Stepaniak, and back up the kick formation goes John Young. He's standing around the 26-yard line. He gets his kick away. They put the pressure. Look at this kick. This fella can really boot him. Llewellyn's got it at the 15. Llewellyn's back to the 20. He fights his way back to the 23-yard line, and the tackle is made on the 23. Notre Dame's ball. First and 10 from their own 23. 45 yards on the kick and 8-yard return. We've got a strong crosswind out here, but this fella is really kicking that ball.
Well, in this case, the wind has been shifting, and if you notice the flagpole and the eastern corner over there, the northeast corner, the wind is shifting so much so, at that time, the wind was right behind the kicker, and it just hung it up there. I mean, he might have had a little moisture on it when it came down.
Coach Kelly walking around the sideline talking to his defensive unit. They've got the football back now for Theismann, who gives it off on the draw play to Ziegler, and Ziegler gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Cowling's in there again, and Scott, that middle guard of the Southern California Trojans, so it'll be a second down and 10 situation. He lost about a half a yard on that, with a minute and 20 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half. It's Southern California 0 and Notre Dame 0. Nice to have you with us wherever you are across the nation and around the world today. It's Southern California Notre Dame. Two setbacks. Theismann on a give to Allen. He's running wide. He's caught from behind by Cody Smith. He's slowed him down just enough for Weaver to make the tackle.
Smith had just gone in, replacing Gary MacArthur. They'd given Cody an opportunity to take a blow there, and Smith, after taking the blow, went right in there, stepped into the line, went cutting right over the middle, followed the play, and reached over, got Theismann by the shoulder pads, and there's where the trouble began. So when you get this big feller at 267 pounds from Beaumont, Texas on top of you, there's no getting away from him.
Mars and Allen are the setbacks. Theismann rolling out to the left. He's going to run with the ball, and he's going to be brought down. Back on the 18-yard line by Tony Terry, the senior tackle in there for Southern California. And they're going to mark it on the 18-yard line. And there's a timeout on the field, called by Southern California with the score. Southern California 0, Notre Dame 0. Hudson is deep now, along with Durcoat. The Arietta boots it again. It's a short kick, and rolling around on the 47-yard line in Notre Dame territory. We've only got about 13 seconds of playing time remaining here in this first half. Southern California back with great field position again, and they've had it all day.
They've had the field position, all right, Van, but the passing game has just not clicked at all for Jones, and the running game has been contained very well. The Irish, like they bottled up O.J. Simpson, has done an excellent job on bottling up Clarence Davis. Now I'll be interested to see the full stats on Davis as far as the total ground game for this fella on the first half when when we have a break at halftime and we can really take a look at it. At the moment, I know that Davis, who ranks second in the nation with better than 5.5 yards of carry, has carried 17 times in the first half for a total of 51 yards. And this fella had rolled up 658 yards before this ball game. 658 yards, Van, in 4 ball games. He's a great runner.
The ball is on the 47-yard line of Notre Dame with about 13 seconds to go in the first half. The I formation with the two flankers, and back goes Jones to throw. Jones is caught, fumbles the ball. Wild scramble for it. Notre Dame has got it. Notre Dame has got it on the 48-yard line of Southern California. With all this talk about D.S. Goodrich still to down
radio tires. Many people still don't know quite what a radio tire is. Well, that's understandable. Tire names can be confusing. The BFG radio is named for the way it's built, its construction. The important thing is that BFG radios are a totally different kind of tire. The difference is on the inside where you can't see it. This inside difference makes the radio better than others. And that's all you really have to know about the BFG radio. Notre Dame has the ball. They recovered it there on the 48-yard line of Notre Dame. Tom Gatewood out wide to left. Heisman going back to throw. Heisman's being rushed out there, and he is caught by Jimmy Gunn, the right end. And there's the gun. That's the end of the first half.
Former governor of Massachusetts, Secretary of Transportation, John Volpe. Secretary Volpe, how do you feel about your visit to South Bend?
Oh, this is most thrilling, most exciting. It's my first time that I've seen a football game here at South Bend. I've seen Notre Dame play on the East many times, but this is thrilling. It's exciting. You really get a sense of feel being here. That really thrills me very much.
Well, I know there are many football fans all around the country, and those of us who cover football for Mutual and follow Notre Dame all over are well aware of the problems of transportation facing our country. What's ahead in the future?
Well, we are working very hard. President Nixon has submitted to the Congress a message on public transportation, and we're very hopeful the Congress will pass it. It will enable us to do a great deal better job of getting the public to games like this or to other facilities, and also within the city where there's a tremendous amount of traffic congestion.
Well, with the number of automobiles always increasing, this is a gigantic problem, is it not?
This is the problem we've got to solve. We just can't allow cars to continue to clog our highways. As I told the automobile people, they won't even be able to get people to the showrooms to buy their automobiles. So we've got to get some public transportation to help augment the transportation.
Of course, we need more thoroughfares and more roads.
This we're doing, and we've got 2/3 of our interstate system built. When the other third is built by 1974, we'll be on our way.
We're talking with Secretary of Transportation and the former governor of Massachusetts, John Volpe. Sir, a final question. Any particular player you like out there that you've seen so far?
The best play, well, there was some excellent defensive work. I wish I had seen a play that Notre Dame has a caught, but I hope to see that in the second half.
Thank you very much for bringing me.
Nice to be with you.
Back up to you, Al.
Here in our broadcast booth with us, the gentleman who's covered Notre Dame for many years, one of the most able sports writers in the country, the sports editor of the South Bend Tribune, Joe Doyle. And Joe, it's just a real pleasure to have you with us, and we've got a bruising ball game going.
We sure have, Van. I really think this is a struggle. A couple of weeks ago, we had Michigan State, and here somebody predicted 0-0. Maybe we're going to get it a couple of weeks late.
Well, now, Notre Dame has not been able to get good field position throughout this first half. They can't go up the middle. They've been putting the pressure on Heisman. They haven't been able to throw. Jones has thrown a lot of passes to Southern California, but he just hasn't been able to hit on it.
Yeah, he can't get the long ball in there because Ellis is a real sharp defender, and he's staying with Southern Cal's speed. Ellis has got a lot of speed, and he stays with the defenders pretty well, and Jones is getting just enough of a rush so that he's overthrowing the ball.
Has the game gone about like you thought it might?
Actually, I am very much proud of that because of the fact that Southern Cal is really strong on the corners with their ends, Charlie Weaver and Jim Gunn, and they're backed up by Dirkle on the corner as a cornerback and Tyrone Hudson, and they just, Era had said all week that he didn't think it was impossible to get into those lanes that we've been getting into the last couple of weeks.
What do you think might happen here? I know that Arrow will do some adjusting, and so will John McKay in those dressing rooms right now.
Frankly, I think if the game is going to be decided by a break. When Notre Dame was backed up in there, they got a bad pass, a fumble at the wrong time down there, and Southern Cal could get position. They only got into really four-down territory twice, once on the first drive and then once on the punt toward the end there. We got about a 16-yard punt return.
In other words, you feel in a break will decide.
I think it's going to be decided by a break, and the way things are going right now, if Notre Dame would get a break or two, I even doubt whether they can get the ball in there. Maybe Yale or Scott Hempel will have to kick a field goal to win this. Or maybe it'll end 0-0. I haven't seen one of them for 25 years.
Joe, it's been a real pleasure to have you in our broadcast booth, and we certainly enjoy your coverage of the Notre Dame games. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much, man.
Joe Doyle is the sports editor at the South Bend Tribune, who's kind enough to come up to our broadcast booth. We're going to take a break.
taking a look very quickly at some of the unofficial stats. Southern Cal with 8 first downs to Notre Dame's 2. Southern Cal with 63 yards rushing, only 47 yards passing. The Irish with only 8 yards on the ground to 29 yards passing. 10 passes attempted by Notre Dame, 3 completed. 22 attempted by Southern California, only 5 completed. In punting, Notre Dame with a 34-yard average for 8 kicks. Southern Cal with a 40-yard average for 6 kicks. 15 yards in penalties against the Irish, 25 yards against Southern California. Already the Irish fans are out, setting up an alley all the way from the goalpost at the north end of the stadium here. That's where the Irish and Southern California will enter. And right now, while we look down on this stadium packed to the hill for this battle today, let's go down to the sidelines and again, Bill Etherton.
I don't think there is any Notre Dame football name more familiar to fans all across the country than that of the great John Lujack, who's standing right in front of me now. John, what kind of a game is this?
Well, I thought the Southern Cal was going to blow Notre Dame right out of the ballpark earlier in the game, but then the Notre Dame defense tightened up, and now it's probably the greatest defensive game that I've ever seen. I think that Theismann has got to throw a little bit more because we're having no effect at all against their rushing defense. And we only threw 10 passes. Of course, we didn't have the ball much, Bill. But I think that our defense is just playing a truly outstanding ball game, and really McCoy has impressed me exceptionally well today. He and Olsen. Of course, those are the 2 guys.
John, is this the first time you've seen the Irish play this year?
Oh, no, I see every home game, Bill. I saw the Michigan State game and then Northwestern, and then this is the 3rd one with 2 more to go.
Improved a great deal from early in the season?
Yes, I think that, see all the sophomores that they have on defense, which I think is about 6 of them, they've come along nicely. Kadish impresses me. He got hurt today. I don't know how bad.
Sprained his knee.
Sprained knee? Well, I was on when he was chasing that passer on the far sideline there. Somebody got a real good shot at him. But he's a good one. Schumacher's a good one. A lot of those sophomores are really coming to life. And, of course, when they get around this Notre Dame spirit, they got to come around.
John Lujack, you, of course, are a former Heisman Trophy winner. You look as trim and slim and able to go as you ever did right now.
Well, I weigh 200 pounds, and I play pro ball at about 192, so I managed to hold the weight down a little bit, but for some strange reason, I've gotten slower.
John, thank you so much for coming on.
Nice visiting with you.
The great John Lujack. Back up to you, Ben.
Just quickly at our microphones, ladies and gentlemen, a regular in our mutual broadcast booth, Roger Stanton, the editor of Football News, right across the country. And Rog, I know this has been an exciting ball game for you.
What a surprise, really, that I thought there'd be a lot of scores in this game, and there's not very many, Al. I expect in the second half that the break's going to win this football game for somebody.
Could be breaks. It looks like defense has spelled the difference so far. Both teams playing tremendous defensive football.
Right, and it's kind of a surprise in this high scoring here. Many college teams scoring 40 and 50 points a game, and we haven't seen any yet. But I would say last time they were here, Southern California was here, was 7-0 for Notre Dame at the half, and Southern Cal came on and won 24-7. I don't think that's going to happen today, though.
Roger Stanton, the editor of Football News, ladies and gentlemen. In just a moment, the teams will be on the field. We'll have the kickoff for the second half. Here in the mutual booth at halftime, and he's been here most of the first half, is the old linebacker himself, Stan Petzak. He's been watching the Notre Dame football action and been keeping tab on some of the substitutions that come into the ball game for us. We're still waiting for both teams to prepare for the second half. The captains of the 2 ball clubs, the Trojans and the Irish, already at midfield. Here comes Notre Dame back onto the field in their navy blue jerseys, their gold trousers, and their gold helmets. And right behind them, in the cardinal and gold uniform, Southern California. They go across the field to the far side. Our broadcast booth is on the west side of Notre Dame Stadium. Right down below us, the Fighting Irish, and across the way, Southern California. A scoreless tie, 0-0 at halftime. And the second half is just seconds away. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, to set the scene for this tremendous cross-country classic between Southern California and Notre Dame, the sports voice of the Mutual Broadcasting System and the football voice of Notre Dame, Van Patrick.
Right, Alan, this has certainly been a tremendous first half of football here. Great defensive battles. Down at halftime here, they were honoring one of the, well, as a matter of fact, quite a few of the 1929 and 1930 teams. One of the fellows I spotted down there was Frank Carrillo. who's a great quarterback at Notre Dame. Not only a great quarterback, but also a great kicker. They were honored here at halftime as we have festivities of this type almost every Saturday that Notre Dame plays at home. I noticed Mike Kadish coming back out on the field now, and he's limping badly as he does, and he might be through for the day in this ball game today. The game is being broadcast all over America, some 400 stations, and being shortwaved around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And one of our stations, WJCO in Jackson, Michigan, we just received a wire from them, and nice to have them on our network. All over the state of Texas, the great Southwest, down south, out on the West Coast. Hundreds of radio stations out there today. Now we go into the second half with the score Notre Dame nothing and Southern California nothing, and Notre Dame will receive now, and going back, Denny Allen back in the deep spot for Notre Dame, and dropping back with him is Mike Crotty. Ron Aelia will kick off for the Southern California Trojans. So we're getting ready to go. The third quarter now at South Bend. The sun is now hiding behind the clouds. It's overcast here and very brisk here at South Bend, Indiana. Michigan State and Michigan are 0-0 in the first quarter. Indiana is leading Illinois 7-6 at the half. Then I can give you a latest score. It is now Michigan 3, Michigan State 0 in the second quarter. All right, here we go. Aelia will kick off. There's the whistle, and here's the boot. It's a spinning kick, and it's taken by Allen. He's back to the 15. He goes to the 20, comes up to the 25, and is hit at the 25-yard line. Making a tackle for the Southern California Trojans was Paul Fadakis. Paul Fadakis is from Rolling Hills, California. So make it now first down and 10 to go for Notre Dame, and they have the ball on their own 26. That was a 15-yard return by Denny Allen. First and 10 now for Notre Dame from their own 26. Mike Oriard over the ball. DiNardo and Costa the guards. Brennan and Riley the tackles, and Gatewood is split out to the right. Denny Allen split to the left. And Ziegler and Bars are split in the backfield. And Theismann is giving off here to Ziegler. And Ziegler moves up to the 29-yard line with him, getting about 3 yards. And Al Cowlings made the tackle for Southern California. Middle guard Willard Scott picked the right hole there, spun in, and he really fouled the play up. It might have gone for more yardage had not Scott put the pressure on the runner there. With just one back behind the quarterback coming straight ahead. They split Bill Bars out wide to the right now. Leave one setback, Denny Allen. And the give is to Allen on the counter play, and Allen moves up to about the 33-yard line with it, and he's brought down at the 33. Making the tackle there was Al Cowlings again, 6'5", 245 pounds. And Tony Terry is going out of the ball game, or Scott going out, and Terry is in replacing him. That's a change now defensively for Southern California. Tony Terry is in there defensively at that middle nose guard position. One setback, two flankers, third down, 3 yards to go, and it is Bars right up the middle. And he's up to the 37-yard line, and he's got a first down for Notre Dame. That's only the third first down for Notre Dame in the ball game. And Jimmy Gunn, the right end, is the man who made the tackle. Make a first down and 10 to go now for the Fighting Irish with the ball on their own 37-yard line. In there defensively, Charlie Weaver, Al Cowlings, Tony Terry, Cody Smith, and Jimmy Gunn up front. Out wide to the right is Bill Bars again. Denny Allen is split to the left. Ziegler's the only setback as Theismann barks out the signal, and he gives it off to Ziegler, and he doesn't go anywhere with it. He got about a yard. Plow is the man who made the tackle, leading the defensive charge along with Al Cowlings. Talking to one of the pro general managers the other day, Al, he said this fella, Al Cowlings, could very well be the #1 draft choice by the National Football League. Well, Van, as you said, we've got three of the really great defensive tackles in this football game. Two for Southern Cal in Cody Smith and Al Cowlings, and the other for Notre Dame in Mike McCoy. Denny Allen flanked out to the right. Theismann is going back to throw. He throws one. It's completed at the 48-yard line to Ziegler. He's knocked out of bounds on the 46-yard line of Southern California. Beautiful play as Tom Gatewood went into the middle, went down about 10 yards, went into the middle, and attracted all the attention. And that left it open on the far sidelines over there. And the pass completion is an important one for Notre Dame. It's the best throw they've had today, 16 yards in all. Denny Allen is flanked out to the right. They're in the throw set. Theismann asking for quiet so they can hear the signal. Southern Cal's got 6 men up front, and the give is to Ziegler, and he's hit at the 44. He got 2 yards on the play, that's all. Cowlings in there out along with Smith, the two big tackles of Southern California. 12 minutes and 40 seconds of playing time remaining. Tony Terry comes back in, and Scott goes out. That's a change defensively now for Southern California. It's second down and 8 yards to go in the third quarter. No score. Southern California, Notre Dame. Wide to the right comes Denny Allen again. It's a double wing formation. In the slot to the left is Ziegler. Here's the quarterback, Theismann, going back to throw. He sets up, throws, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, and interference is called. Interference is called in favor of Gatewood on Johnny Young, the right safety man. Notre Dame has a break. They have the ball on the 31-yard line. Interference.
Now the Irish get the breaks early in the third quarter, just as Southern California had the breaks early in the first period. A very important 15-yard penalty moved Southern California into a first down position early, if you remember, in the first quarter. Now the Irish have taken over here with an interference call. First down at the Southern Cal 32.
Denny Allen is flanked out to the right. Bars is in there now, rolling out the right of side. When he completes it to Costin, he's got to look at 20. He goes down to the 19-yard line. He stops at the 19 by Slough. And Jerry Shaw. It's another first down for Notre Dame. And the Irish are on the move now as their young quarterback, Joe Theismann, has picked up his sixth first down on the 19-yard line of Southern California. Gary Koss, the right guard, had come out of there, and he's been replaced in there at that right guard spot. Signals are being called by Theismann. He gives to Bars, and Bars is hit at the 17-yard line by Al Cowley. He got about 2 yards on the play, and it is second down and 8 yards to go. Tony Terry and Scott are exchanging again. Terry goes out of there, and Scott is back in. It's second down and 8 to go. 11 and a half minutes to play in the third quarter. Notre Dame is down on the 18-yard line. Double wing formation. Gatewood is flanked to the right. Denny Allen to the left. Theismann calling the signal. And Theismann rolling out to the left, looking for a receiver. Hits Costin at the 10. Costin is down to the 7. First and goal to go for Notre Dame as Slough made the tackle. First down and goal to go for all the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And this crowd goes wild at South Bend.
For the second big catch now in this series. First he went down and out to the right. This time he goes down and out to the left. He makes the catch, and this fella has got his hands on that football. He is holding it. Hoskin has 5 catches in the ball game so far.
Well, Theismann asked for time because they could not hear the signals. It's first down and goal to go with the ball on the 7-yard line, and I imagine Bill Etherton, they're a little excited down on that Notre Dame bench. Bill has just moved away from his microphone there to take a look at Mike Kadish, who was injured in the first half. The ball on the 7. And wide to the right now is Denny Allen. Bill Bars a setback with Ziegler. And Theismann on the give to Ziegler. He's going wide, still going wide. He's at the 5, the 3, the 2. And he is at the goal line. He did not get over. He's right down on the goal line. He's stopped by Gary Shaw as they went wide to the right and got great blocking as they did. Great blocking in there by Notre Dame. Charlie Kennedy was leading the way. And Kennedy's coming out. He did a good job, and Koss is replacing back at the guard. Bill Bars cracked over from the 1. They moved 74 yards in 11 plays. The score here after the kickoff, Scott Hempel will attempt, Joe Theismann will hold. Notre Dame is leading Southern California. The ball is kicked. It is good. And the score is Notre Dame 7, Southern California nothing. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment. He runs it back to the 25-yard line, and Wright made the tackle there for Notre Dame. An 8-yard return, so it'll be first down and 10 to go for Southern California, and they have the ball on their own 25. Notre Dame leading by a score of 7-0 with 10 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Now Dickerson then strikes out to the right, along with Bob Chandler. It's the I formation with Davis in the top of that I. Jimmy Jones, the quarterback, gives it to Davis, and Davis is going outside. He's hit at the 26-yard line. The Maniac made the tackle on the 26. He got only a yard on the play. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. I got a wire here, Al, from Dallas, Texas. Says, how about recognizing the male cheerleaders, for instance? You'll Pitts, the second head cheerleader from Dallas. They were there a long time before the girls, but the girls are pretty.
Yes, they are. I got to go along with that. Michigan State leading in the second quarter now over Michigan, 7-3.
The I formation, second and 9 to go. And Jones going back to throw. He looks, he throws, and it is caught by Dickerson. He caught it right at the 44-yard line and was knocked out of bounds by Alice. It'll be a first down for Southern California. Fine reception by Dickerson. That's 9 first down. So mark it on the 44, make it first down and 10 to go. Wire was from Mr. Ewell E. Pitts from Dallas. We appreciate it. And we got all the names that they should.
And another score at halftime. Purdue leads Iowa 21-14. Northwestern at the end of the first quarter leads Wisconsin 10-0.
Here's the I formation with two flankers to the right. First down from the 44. And the give is to Davis. He breaks right through there on a trap. Runs right off, right tackle down to the 46-yard line of Notre Dame. And so the Trojans of Southern California coming right back. John Gasser made the tackle. They're going to mark the ball on the 47-yard line. On the 47, where it'll be second down with a yard to go. Now the fullback Covington goes out, and Charlie Evans replaces him. The ball on the 47-yard line. It is second down and 1 to go. The I formation with two flankers to the right. Notre Dame leading 7-0, but the Trojans are moving. Quarterback sneak. Jones up the middle. He's jumped by Bob Olson, but he got the ball to the 44-yard line. It'll be 10 first downs for Southern California. From the 44-yard line of Notre Dame. In there playing that defensive tackle is Mike Zekas from Dothan, Illinois, replacing Kadish. Sun is trying to break through here at South Bend. Dickerson and Chandler are flanked to the right now for Southern California in the I formation. Notre Dame in a 5-man defensive line. And the give is to Davis. Davis is hit by Mike McCoy and John Gasser and Schumacher. And he is hit right at the 42-yard line and brought down there. Gain on the play of 2 yards. 8 minutes and 10 seconds of playing time remaining in the third quarter. Notre Dame leading by a score of 7-0 over Southern California. The number 3 ranked team in the nation against the number 10 ranked team in the nation. Coming back in now is Charlie Evans, going out is Covington. Tennessee leading Alabama 21-0. 64 yards and 21 carries for Davis today.
Ohio State in the first quarter leads Minnesota 14-0, Vance.
They're tough. Here's the give to the fullback, and he's hit right at the 40-yard line. Charlie Evans, he tried to go up the middle, and Mike McCoy was there to meet him at the crossroads. It'll be third down coming up. The series originated on the 44. The ball's on the 41. It'll be 3rd and 7. A short 7. 7.5 minutes to go, and out goes the fullback Evans. In comes Covington, and what could be that John McKay's calling the plays, Al?
I have a feeling he is from the sidelines there. John's over there in the crimson jacket, the old gray fox, and he probably is calling it.
I formation, two flankers to the right. They split the tight end a little out to the left, and Jones is giving it to Davis on the counter, and Davis is through the middle. He gets down to about the 36-yard line, and Mike McCoy hit him there along with Swinson. And number 46 coming up from the secondary, John Gasser. And so let's see where they're going to mark it. It'll be 4th down for Southern California with the ball on the 36-yard line of Notre Dame. 4th down coming up and about 2 yards to go. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Fine trap play there by Fred Katigan, the senior from Selma, California at the left guard. Did a nice job there and did it on Mike McCoy. It's very seldom that you get this big fella down, but Katigan had him down.
All right, it's 4th down and about 2 yards to go. And now Jimmy Jones is asking for quiet so they can hear the signals. So he'll take them back into the huddle again. It's 4th down and about 2 yards to go. The ball is on the 36-yard line. The series originated on the 44-yard line of Notre Dame. It's on the Notre Dame 36. Here's a big play coming up for Southern California as they break out of it now and send Dickerson out wide to the right along with Chandler. Check that. It's the Cry out there flank now wide to the right along with Chandler. The I formation. The give is to Davis, and Davis cracks right through the middle. And he's got the first down. He's down to the 32-yard line with it. And Davis can really move. He picked up speed in a hurry when he hit the middle of that line and got it to the 32 for a first down. That's 11 first downs for the Trojans. First and 10 from the Notre Dame 32. And so the Trojans are coming right back now as Notre Dame leads 7-0.
The tackle pulled it in very nicely, quickly there. But this Clarence Davis is so fast that he shot right between them, right straight up the middle for the yardage, and the first down at the Irish 32.
High formation again with DeCry and Chandler flanked to the right. Jones now is rolling to the right. He's got an avenue open. He's at the 25. He cuts back and is hit and knocked out of bounds at the 20. Jones might have gone out on the 19. He had an avenue open to the right that time. Clarence Ellis finally knocked him out of bounds on the 19. And the coaching staff over here to my left are beating the wall.
Well, for good reason, because that's the same bootleg play, the very same one that Joe Theismann operates so effectively. Theismann will use it 2 or 3 times a game. This is the first time that Jones has worked it today, and it was good yardage there. He picked up about 13 yards on that play. They're inside the 20. Southern Cal has the first down.
First down on the 19-yard line. And Jones on to give to Davis on the counter again. He's hit this time as he reaches the 17, so he got about 2 yards on the play. Tackle was made by Swinson. Oklahoma State 6, Missouri nothing in the first quarter. Michigan is trailing Michigan State 7-3. And Tennessee leading Alabama, we gave you 21-0. And Rutgers ahead of the Navy 13-0. Purdue leading Iowa 21-14. The ball is marked on the 18-yard line, so it'll be a 1-yard gain. It'll be second down and 9 to go. Second and 9, and now Jimmy Jones is going over to the sideline. Here's a timeout called by Southern California. So there's a timeout with a score. Notre Dame 7, Southern California nothing. And Patrick along with Al Wester, Bill Etherton from Notre Dame Stadium. The ball is on the 18-yard line of Notre Dame. It belongs to Southern California. It's second down and 9 yards to go. Out to the left this time, DeCry along with Chandler in the I formation. Top of the I is Davis. Jones takes it. Jones going back to throw again. He gets some time. He stays in the pocket. He's being rushed. He throws one. Touchdown. Caught by DeCry. Well, he stayed around back there, scrambled around until he got his man in the open and he hit him perfectly. Terry DeCry grabs it for the touchdown. And Southern California has come back 75 yards in 11 plays. And they can tie it up now if Aelia can boot the extra point. Aelia will attempt to tie it up. Southern Cal is 75 yards in 11 plays. Waiting now for the ball to be spotted. It is kicked. It is good. And the score now, Notre Dame 7, Southern California 7. We'll be back with the Southern California kickoff in just a moment. All ready to go now, and Aelia, who just booted the extra point, will kick off. Allen is deep. And here's the boot. It's coming down here to Mike Quaddy, who got it on the 5. He's back to 10, 15, 20, 25, comes on up to the 28-yard line with it. And Charlie Weaver makes the tackle, along with Aelia, who kicked off. So it'll be Notre Dame's ball. First down and 10 to go from the Notre Dame 28-yard line. And Southern California has come right back on a sustained drive. That was a 23-yard return. Southern California has tied up Notre Dame. Coming out of there now is Koss and Kennedy. In there. Signals are being called by Joe Theismann. He's got 2 setbacks. Bill Bars and Ziegler. He gives the ball off to Ziegler. Ziegler's to the 33-yard line with it, getting 5 yards on the play, going right straight up the middle. Making the stop was Jerry Shaw, the left safety man who came up from the secondary. It'll be second down and 5 yards to go now for Notre Dame. Oriard out over the ball. They have Kennedy in there and DiNardo at the guards. Riley and Dunn in the tackles. Theismann with the 2 setbacks, 1 flanker. Bars is set out to the left, and the give is to Allen. Allen's up through the middle to about the 37-yard line, and Bob Jensen makes the tackle there. It'll be third down and a yard to go now for Notre Dame. The Irish sticking on the ground right now, trying to get back to the lead of this ball game as they're leading 7-0, and then watch Southern California came right back in a sustained drive.
Other football action, Van, in the second period. Michigan State 16, Michigan 3.
Here's the give to Allen trying to go outside, and that was a big play, and he's brought down by Bob Jensen, the linebacker. So that'll force Notre Dame into a kick situation with 4th down. Randy Durko is going back now in the deep safety spot for Southern California as the Arrieta comes in. Burgess comes in to do the centering. Heisman comes out and Oriard comes out. Iron Hudson and Sandy Durko back in the double safety spots for Southern California. The Arrieta goes back in the kick formation standing inside the 25. Fumbles the ball. It gets it away. High file. The fair catch is called for on the 37. It's fumbled. And I believe Durko recovered it. There's a wild scramble for it right there on the 37, but Southern California recovered the ball. Let's go down to the sidelines and Bill Evans.
And just so you know, on the sidelines, we aim to please. The male cheerleaders at Notre Dame are Ewell Pitts of Dallas, Texas, Roger Trask of Pittsburgh, Dan Clemens, Columbus, Ohio, Pat Rivers, Cincinnati, Jay McDonald, Olympia, Washington, Ed Mattingly, Houston, Texas, Kevin Quizmeyer, Topeka, Kansas, and Tom McGowan of Tremont, Minnesota. Want anything else?
Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that. And I know Mr. Pitts from Dallas, Texas does. All ready to go now with the ball on the 38-yard line of Southern California. It's Davis with the ball, and Davis to the 40 and a stop there. In the first quarter, Florida 28, North Carolina nothing. The ball is on the 40-yard line. Davis is going out. He's been replaced now by, let's check the man in the backfield, Paul. Davis has gone out of there. Now Davis back in there in 75 yards and 25 carries for Davis today. He was out for a play, and he gets the ball this time on the handoff. And is hit right at the 41-yard line and knocked back. Hit at the 41, knocked back. This series originated on the 38. The ball is on the 41-yard line, so that'll make it third down and 7 yards to go.
McKay has been pulling Clarence Davis out there occasionally on plays, shooting Mike Berry, the young junior from Minneapolis, in there at the halfback spot, the running back spot. And Davis just popped in, popped back out. Now going to the sidelines is Charlie Evans, and also going out is Terry DeCry.
And the fullback, Evans and Covington, have been alternating in there. Dickerson is in there now and split out to the left with DeCry. The I formation with Clarence Davis, the top of that I formation. Jimmy Jones barking out the signals. And Jones on the draw play to Davis, and Davis is hit back on the 35-yard line. They had the rush on him that time. And in there was great Mike McCoy along with Ratterman. And they dropped him back on the 35, and Davis was shaken up on the play, but he bounces up. He's a fine football player. Here's a timeout called by Southern California. So there's a timeout with the score, Southern Cal 7, Notre Dame 7. They have it on their own 35-yard line where it'll be 4th down and 13 yards to go. Stepaniak and Lou Allen go back in the deep safety spots for Notre Dame. Nice wire from Tony Quinn, radio station KALO in Little Rock, Arkansas. They carried the Notre Dame game. Northwestern 17, Wisconsin nothing. They're in the second period of that ball game. 7-7 here at South Bend. We got a bell ringer going here, I want to tell you. Oh, we have that. John Young goes back in kick formation. Llewellyn going deep now. Here's the snap. Here's the kick, and he really boots them high and deep. The fair catch is called for. The fumble, but Notre Dame recovered. Stepaniak fumbled the ball, but then grabbed it. It's a 38-yard kick. But he kicks them so high, he allows the team, the covering team, to get down the field and cover on the kick. The ball is on the 27-yard line of Notre Dame. It's first down and 10 to go. Wide to the left goes Ziegler. Bars is set with Allen. Allen has it on the sweep to the right. And he is to the 32-yard line. The tackle is made by Sandy Durko. On the 32-yard line. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. It's second down, about 6. Here's the give to fake the bars, and Theismann is running wide, and he is dropped right at the 30-yard line. Gunn made the tackle. Theismann has had little success today in his running. against this fine defensive team of Southern California.
Well, you've got an All-American over there, defensive right end. You've got big Jim Gunn from San Diego, Charlie Weaver, a junior from Richmond, California, two great defensive men. They play fine football. There is the end of the third quarter here.
Ball on the 30-yard line of Notre Dame. It is third down and 8 yards to go. And a big play now for young Joe Theismann as we start the final quarter. Theismann with one step back, and he's going back to throw, setting up, gets a little time. He throws one. It's intercepted by Southern California. At the 25-yard line, down to the 20, down to the 15, goes Tyrone Hudson with it down to the 15-yard line. He picked it off on the 40-yard line, Tyrone Hudson, and raced it down to the 15, and there's a big break now for Southern California.
That's his second interception, man of the year. His first interception, he returned 57 yards, this fellow Hudson did. He's a junior, 6 foot 175 from Los Angeles, and now he has given the Trojans the ball in a magnificent position on the Notre Dame 15-yard line. They have the ball 20 yards in from the near sidelines at the hash mark, and that's where they'll put it into play.
And they send Dickerson and DeCry out wide to the left. The I formation. Evans and Davis are set back there with Jones. He gives it off to Davis. Davis is stopped at the 14-yard line. He got 1 yard. Mike McCoy making the tackle along with Tim Kelly. It'll be second down and 9 to go for Southern California. And a great defensive play there on the part of Tyrone Hudson, picking it off on the 40 and running it down to the 15-yard line. They're changing the fullbacks again, Covington and Evans, and I'm sure they're calling the plays from the bench.
Steve Lehmer and Sid Smith have been double-teaming Mike McCoy on most of the plays on that last one. It was Lehmer trying to hit McCoy straight on, nose to nose, and he just couldn't handle the big defensive tackle.
Signals are being called by Jimmy Jones in the eye. Jones is going back to throw. He left, throws into the end zone. Touchdown! In the end zone by Dickerson. And Southern California leads 13-7. He got great protection. He had time to throw. Dickerson got down there, got loose in that end zone. And 15 yards in 2 plays, and the Trojans lead 13-7.
Well, Sam Dickerson, that's his third touchdown pass of the year to catch. He had 2 before this, and of course, this was the most important one for him. It's a go-ahead touchdown for Southern Cal with 14 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
The try for point, I hear you. Ball is spotted, the kick is up, kick is good. The score now, Southern California 14, Notre Dame 7. We'll be back with the Southern California kickoff in just a moment. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. There's a flag down. There's a flag down. And let's see here what they're going to do. The kick was good, but the penalty would have been against Notre Dame. It's been declined by Southern California. So we'll be back now with Notre Dame had a 15-yard penalty there for a personal foul. And they kicked the ball from the 45. It's down by Notre Dame on the 22. Things got a little heated out there. Bill Barr is the fullback and one of the Trojans. So it'll be Notre Dame's ball, first down and 10 to go from their own 22-yard line. First and 10. Bill Barr took that kick. And he and one of the Trojans, they were bumping each other around. Theismann comes back in as quarterback. And it will be a first and 10 from their own 22. 14 minutes of playing time remaining. And Southern California leading 14-7. Wood and Ziegler are flanked out to the left. And Theismann with the I formation. And Theismann rolling out to the left. He's going to run with it. He's at the 25, the 30, the 35. He comes up to the 37-yard line before he's caught by Charlie Weaver. And the defense is back out there, Tyrone Hudson. It's a first down for Notre Dame on the 37-yard line. First and 10 to go from their own 37. That's 8 first down for Notre Dame today. Billy Allen. He is the only flanker. It's the I formation. Top of the I is Ziegler. Barr's right behind the quarterback, Joe Theismann, and Theismann rolling out to left again. He's looking. He throws one. It's completed to Barrs at the 45-yard line. And Barrs is tackled immediately on the 45 by Slough. So they moved it on the play 8 yards. It'll be second down and 2. 13:25 to go in the fourth quarter. And Notre Dame trailing 14-7 to the Southern California Trojans, the third-ranked team in the nation. Next week they'll be in New Orleans, Louisiana to broadcast Tulane and Notre Dame. So far 7 out of 15 for 76 yards for Notre Dame in passing. Theismann, one flanker, set out to the right, Denny Allen. Long cadence count on this one. He's going back to throw. He looks, throws the ball to the 45, the 40. He's out of bounds down on the 35-yard line. And Young is the man who knocked him out of bounds. He hit him in a hurry with that one.
Well, that's the big play that worked so well against Michigan State, rolling the halfback out of the backfield. Billy Bars did so well there. There's a 20-yard gain as Bars rolls again out of the backfield. Gets pauses long enough to let the initial front line make contact, and then Theismann rolling with him, throws on the run, and Bars is there.
That's a total of 9 first downs. The ball is on the 35 of Southern California. And the give now in the draw of Bars right up the middle to the 29-yard line, and Foul made the tackle. We got 6 on the play up the middle on the draw. 12 minutes and 45 seconds of playing time remaining. Here's a change now defensively. Tony Terry's coming in, and Scott goes out. Let's go to the sidelines and Bill Evans.
They have a point right now. The stadium runs north and south, and the Irish are that where you would be going with the wind or actually facing the wind out of the tunnel. Up there. Back to you.
Wide to the right is Denny Allen. Here's that I formation again with Ziegler in the top of the I. Theismann calling the signals. Southern California with a 6-man defensive line. His give is to Ziegler. Ziegler is down to the 20. Ziegler is down to the 10. Ziegler is down to the 7. And Young made the tackle to Southern California. And the 3 yards is putting right back again.
What a great play right up the middle. They just sent a replacement in for the middle guard, Willard Scott, Tony Terry. They got Terry guessing and doing it on the wrong side of the center. He went to the right side between Mike Oriard and Larry DiNardo, and he got trapped beautifully. And right straight up the middle the play went. The runner had to fight his way over one of the officials, but now the Irish have it inside the 10.
First down and goal to go. And Ziegler again taking it wide, cutting back. He's down to 5 and tackled on the 5-yard line by Al Howley. He was trying to go wide. He had to cut back behind his blockers, and MacArthur was also in on the tackle, and back comes Scott, the middle guard. Ball is on the 5-yard line. It's second down and goal to go for Notre Dame. We've got 11 and a half minutes to play here at South Bend, Indiana on a cold, gray afternoon. And Southern California leading by a score of 14-7. And the Irish break out of the huddle. They're in the tight I formation now with a wing. Waiting for it now is Theismann, and Theismann gives it off to Allen, and Allen is dropped back on the 7-yard line. He's dropped on the 7 by Gunn, who diagnosed the play perfectly. And one of the Notre Dame assistant coaches jumped right out of the booth.
Very nearly did. I can hear Joe Yotto over there right now.
Here's a timeout called by Notre Dame, so there's a timeout.
Third down coming up for the Irish, and they have the ball down on the Southern California 7.5-8-yard line. The next couple of plays will probably be the most important plays of the game for them. They've succeeded in moving the ball on the ground with some fine key blocking, moving it right up the middle against the strength of Southern California, gaining the yardage they need. There's 10 minutes, 57 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter as quarterback Joe Theismann just left the sideline after conferring with head coach Ara Parsegan, and these next 2 plays will be the key ones, I believe, Van.
Well, John, there's no question about that, Al, and they're back in the huddle. Third down, 7 yards to go. They're on the short end of a 14-7 score, and out of the huddle they come. Mike Oriard over the ball. They send Denny Allen out wide to the right. They're in the I formation now. The wing I, the top of that I is Ziegler. Bars right behind the quarterback. Theismann is going back to pass. He throws it completed to Bars down on the 2. And he's knocked out of bounds as he tried to swing around wide on the 3. And Shaw is the man who knocked him out of bounds on the 3.
The little swing pass again. Again, Bars coming right out of the backfield, rolling the same direction as Theismann. Theismann throwing, uncorking that ball on the run. You know, this is a real gamble when you throw that kind of pass, Van, down there, because to begin with, you got to gauge it, and you got to gauge it on the run, and Bars is not too far in front of you.
Now then, Theismann with fourth down and goal to go on the 3. He's calling the signals. He's got one flanker. He's rolling out to the left. He's looking. He's going to be hit way back on the 15-yard line and finally pulled down back on the 18. Jimmy Gunn breaking through there along with Tony Terry. And they finally brought him down. Wait for the officials to mark it. It's going to be on the 18-yard line. They had the opportunity. They were down there. But Southern California's defense rises to the occasion. And it's still 13-7 in the Trojans take over.
You just can't beat the tremendous pressure this All-American Jim Gunn and this fella, Cody Smith, puts on you. and both of them were charging in there on top of Theismann. Tremendous pressure by that defensive unit of Southern California. And you've got to say one thing, John McKay really puts them together.
Wide to the right now is Bob Chandler. And they split Dickerson out to the left, the I formation. Jimmy Jones marks out the signals, and he gives it off to Davis, and Davis is hit at the 20. He got about 2 yards on the play, and McCoy is in there along with Zekas, and they make the tackle. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8 to go. We've got 10.5 minutes of playing time remaining, and Southern California leading by a score of 14-7. Next week it'll be Notre Dame against Tulane down in New Orleans, the Sugar Bowl Stadium. And going out of there is Dickerson. In comes Terry DeCry. Out wide to left now goes DeCry. Split to the right is Bob Chandler. They line up in that I formation. Operating from the 20 with a second down and 8. And Jones going back to throw. And he gets some time and he heaves the sideline pattern way over the head of the intended receiver, Terry DeCry. That stops the clock, brings up a third down. Well, I was just wondering, Al, in the situation he's leading by a score of 14-7, he threw a sideline rope there. In this situation, and deep in his own territory. So you can say one thing about the boy from Harrisburg. He's a gambler. He's had 26 attempts today and completed 8 for 97 yards.
He's a gambler, and he's a pretty good passer. He has not been effective on the sideline patterns at all today. He's gone nil over there.
Dickerson is flanked out to left along with Chandler again. It's third and 8. Jones on the long cadence count this time, and he takes it, goes back to throw again. He's rolling out, throws one, and this one is caught on the 31-yard line, and a great catch out there by Chandler. It'll be a first down for Southern California, and that was a key catch.
Well, that was the key play, too, and I'll give you the reason why. Notre Dame was blitzing on that. They had 2 of the linebackers blitzing, so they had six men putting the pressure on Jimmy Jones, and he uncaught the pass and got his man on the sideline. Chandler's playing surprisingly good football, Dan, because he's coming back from a back injury. He had a small bone in his back broken, and Bob Chandler of Whittier, California, is doing a very fine job for the Trojans.
Parsegan had Lou Allen and Weed. He had a couple of extra defensive batsmen there to protect on the pass. The give is to Davis trying to go outside, and he runs right into Tim Kelly. And Kelly brings him down on the 33-yard line. Series originating on the 31, so there was a gain of 2 on the play, and it'll be second down and 8 to go now for Southern California. The Trojans are leading 14-7. The clock shows 9 minutes and 11 seconds of playing time remaining. The clock shows 9 minutes and 11 seconds of playing time remaining. Very chilly here now at South Bend, Indiana. The sun is long since gone. It's a gray, overcast sky. Going out of there is Dickerson. Davis has 75 of the University of Southern California's 102 yards. He's been a busy boy today. 2 flankers. DeCry to the right, Chandler to the left in the I formation. And Jones going back to throw again. He gets some time. He throws a sideline pattern incomplete right into the Notre Dame bench. It'll be third down and 8, intended for Terry DeCry.
I don't know whether he's really overthrowing this badly, but he's overthrowing by, I would say, 5, 6, 8 yards in height to these receivers on the sideline pattern. Maybe McKay has told him, you got to keep the ball up there, way up there. If you throw anything low, they got to pick it off and go. And again, as you said, he's a gambler. He's gambling there with the ball at the 32-yard line, throwing sideline patterns to begin with, because Notre Dame has been putting double coverage on these receivers that are going to the sideline. Any one of these men might pick off one of those passes, and it'll be off to the races.
Lou Allen is back in there now, along with Reed. Schumacher and Zekas go out, so they'll cover on the passes. Jones is back again. He throws out the sideline pass again into the Notre Dame bench. Intended for DeCry. Now, there's one unusual thing about this situation. With 8 minutes and 35 seconds to play, each time he throws an incomplete pass, he's stopping that clock. And with a 7-point lead, you might feel that he would like for that clock to keep moving.
I would think so, Van. We've got some other scores here. Indiana leads Illinois 27-20. That's in the third quarter.
Lou Allen going deep now, along with Stefaniak. John Young is back to kick, and it's blocked.
completely going right down the middle, not coming in from the left to the right, but straight down the middle on the punter. Put his hands out, outstretched, and it was the hands of McCoy that blocked that kick. That's the ideal way to block a kick.
Heisman is asking for quiet, so Notre Dame is right back down there again on the 7. The give us to Ziegler. Ziegler is following his blockers, and he's going to be stopped at the 5 before. He's stopped by Scott. A gain of 3 on the play, and Tony Terry was also in on the tackle for Southern California. 8 minutes and 10 seconds of playing time remaining. We've got a cliffhanger at South Bend. Southern California leading 14-7. But the Notre Dame Fighting Irish down on the 4. And coming out now is Gatewood. He's being replaced in there by Lawson. Lawson has gone in to replace Gatewood. And finally, Notre Dame calls the timeout. So there's a timeout on the field to score Southern California 14, Notre Dame 7.
Quarterback Joe Theismann, a junior, at 6 foot 170 pounds, is the smallest, but possibly the quickest little ball handler that Ella Pussigan has ever used at the quarterback spot. He started 3 games last fall when Terry Henry was laid low with an injured knee. And little Joe very promptly led the Irish to a pair of wins over Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech, and that tremendous 21-21 tie to Southern California. So this afternoon, it's the second time that Theismann has performed at quarterback against Southern Cal. We have a halftime score on the Ohio State-Minnesota game. At halftime, Ohio State 20, Minnesota nothing. That's the halftime score. The Irish have the ball down at the 4-yard line of Southern California. 7 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And right now, for a report from the sidelines, let's go down to Bill Epperson.
Al, I'm standing right behind Mike McCoy, who blocked that a moment ago, and it became Mardi Gras time up here, not down in your town a moment ago. When he came off the field, he was battered and besieged from all points, and congratulations for that tremendous effort. And the big guy is huffing and puffing and yelling now to his teammates to go in for a quick 6. Back up to you. The ball is on the 4-yard line. It's second down and goal to go for Notre Dame on the Southern California 4. Theismann in the wing eye formation now with the wingback set in close. And the give is to Bars. He's down to the goal line, and he did not get over, I don't believe. He stopped on the goal line. We're going to have to unpile him down there. Right on the goal line. He was stopped. So it will be third down and about a foot to go.
Billy Bars was certainly trying to get that extra half yard he needed. That ball's on the 1-yard line, and the Irish have a third down coming up in Southern California. Is now digging in the trenches.
In sight now, the line, and the give is to Bars, and Bars is hit right at the goal line. He did not get over. They're jamming him up the middle, and he stopped right on the 1. He did not go over. So California defensive unit is something to behold. Weaver, Cowling, Tony Terry, Burke, Gunn, and the ball. MacArthur is coming in now, and coming out of there is Jimmy Gunn, the right end. Lawson is coming out for Notre Dame. Gatewood is back in. Now the ball, remember, is on about the half-yard line. It's 4th down for Notre Dame. And the give is to Allen. Touchdown, Notre Dame. In 4 plays, and Denny Allen crashed over for Notre Dame with a chance now. Let's see what they're going to do. Hempel is going to attempt the kick. Heisman will hold, and this stadium will erupt if he gets that one through the upright. Kick is up. The kick is good. Now the score, Southern California 14, Notre Dame 14. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment.
Season, big defensive tackle Mike McCoy started every game, made 72 tackles to lead all the Irish defenders in that department.
Here's the boot. Throw him over in 6. Coming down to the 5-yard line. He's taken down on the 5-yard line. The flag is down. It was taken in there by Harrison, and Harrison was tackled back on the 10. And a 15-yard penalty against Notre Dame. The Irish a little overzealous on the play.
Well, you can see they were. Rick Coleman was down there and made the initial contact. The Irish were really pursuing now. They feel like that they're very much in this football game with a 14-14 tie, and that the momentum should, after the last touchdown, down should belong to Notre Dame. 14-14, 6:36 on the clock. Plenty of time for a couple of touchdowns, Van. And the second half has really been an explosive one.
Yes, it has. The second penalty of 30 yards against Southern California. They've got Chandler out to the right now, along with Terry DeCry. I formation. Signals are being called by Jones. Top of that eye is Davis. Long cadence count. He gives it to Davis. Davis is hit at the 32 and comes on up to the 33. On the 33, he got about 7 yards on that play. And he's dropped down in there. The linebacker, Kelly, and Ellis, the safety man. So they're going to place it down to the 33, where it'll be second down and 3 to go. The clock is moving. 6 minutes and 15 seconds of playing time remaining. Out wide to the right comes Bob Chandler again. He's set out there along with Terry DeCry at I formation. And here's Jones on the keeper, rolling out to the right. He's at the 40. He's out of bounds, knocked right under the Notre Dame bench. On the 39-yard line on that keeper, a bootleg out to the right. First down for Southern California. And so the Trojans are coming right back up their 14th first down. And they have it on the 39. The score is Southern California 14, Notre Dame 14. 5 minutes and 54 seconds of playing time remaining. And so Southern California breaks out of it now. And they send DeCry wide to the right. Bob Chandler's in the slot to the right. In the I formation with Mullins on the left side. Over the ball is Bill Redding. And Jimmy Jones calling the signals. On top of that I is Clarence Davis. And here's a give to Davis. And Davis is tackled on the 35-yard line. And making the tackle was Bob Olson, the co-captain and inside linebacker who made the tackle.
Bob Olson blitzing on the play. He was in the backfield there. The minute that Clarence Davis got the ball handed to him by Jimmy Jones, Olson was all over him. This fellow's a great football player. He gives you great pursuit, Olson does. He's captain of the football team, has 1 interception, 58 tackles before today, 5 of them for 57 yards and losses to the competition. From Superior, Wisconsin, Bob Olson, a tremendous competitor for the Irish.
Second and 14. Dickerson is back in there and flanked wide to the left. And here goes Jones. Back to throw again. He throws one deep to Chandler, and it is incomplete. Down on the 31-yard line, it is incomplete. Gasser broke it up for Notre Dame.
Chandler had that football when he was hit from behind and jarred loose from the pigskin. Then here's a final score, and what a battle it must have been this afternoon. Penn State has come from behind to beat Syracuse 15-14.
Coming in there is Mike Berry into the backfield, and he's coming in along with Charlie Evans. The ball is on the 35. It's third down and 14 yards to go. 5 minutes and 7 seconds of playing time remaining. 2 flankers to the left. Good out there is Dickerson along with Bob Chandler, 2 fine receivers. And Jones is sprinting straight back. McCoy is chasing him. He's rolling out to the right. He dumps one out there. And it is completed on the 34-yard line. But a flag is down. Backfield in motion. It'll be declined by Notre Dame. It'll be fourth down, Southern California. They had the pressure on Jones that time. He dumped it out there. Just about 5 yards. The tackle was made on the 34. The officials have indicated backfield in motion against Southern California. If so, it will be declined by Notre Dame, which will bring up a fourth down. And the line of scrimmage will be the 34. And that's where it is. Fourth down and 15 yards to go. Stepaniak is going back with Lou Allen now for Notre Dame, and John Young is back in kick formation. The snap is back to Young. McCoy is in there again and almost got to that one. And the ball goes out of bounds. We have to wait for the officials to mark it. McCoy has the pressure on him. Talk about the pressure with McCoy again, who made a great charge at him. Went right down the middle spot. Nobody could hold this big guy. Put his hands up, almost blocked it again. The kick was high, all right, but it was very short. 22 yards for the punt. And at the 44-yard line of Notre Dame, the Irish will put it into play. 20 yards in from the far sideline.
They field position. 4 minutes, 47 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. 14-14 in a battle of 2 great giants of the football world.
All right, Ziegler to slant out to left along with Ziegler in the I formation. And the give is to Price, but he keeps it himself, and he's at the 50. Slides in underneath the big tackle and goes to the 48, and Sly finally got it. and Jerry Shaw. And Theismann did a good job of taking on that one. And he got on the play 7 yards, so it's second down and 3.
Larry DiNardo made the key slot there, Ben. Getting linebacker Bob Jensen made it possible for those extra 3 or 4 yards.
Signals are being called now by Joe Theismann in the wing eye with the wing in tight, Denny Allen. Theismann barking it out, and he gives it off this time to his fullback, and he's straight ahead. Bill Bars started to go down to the 35-yard line. He's finally tackled on the 35. It's a first down for Notre Dame, and the Irish are coming back again. Ball down on the 36-yard line. That's Southern California. Well, first down and 10 to go. That was Bill Bars, the fullback. They're getting Toddy Smith out of there now. MacArthur's in replacing him. Out wide to the right goes Denny Allen. Stood out there with him is Gatewood. The I formation. Signals are being called by Theismann. Theismann on the give this time on the counter. He thinks he's going to run wide. He's at the 35. He's finally forced out of bounds on the 35 by Shaw. He faked it to the halfback Ziegler and kept the ball himself on the keeper, running wide to the right. He only got a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 9 to go. The clock shows 3 minutes and 44 seconds. That stopped the clock when we're out of bounds. Let's take 10 seconds or pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kennedy replaces Thompson there at guard. 2 flankers to the left, Notre Dame. And here is the give this time to Denny Allen, and Allen is down to the 30-yard line with it. He's stopped by Jimmy Gunn on the 30. And Slough, the linebacker on the right side, who's played a terrific defensive ball game. Clock shows 3.5 minutes. The score is tied at 14-14. MacArthur goes out, and Cody Smith is back in.
We've got a big third down play coming up from the standpoint of this ball game. The Irish certainly need yardage here now. We're third down and 4. About 4.5 to be exact.
One flanker set out to the left in the I formation. Theismann calling the signals, and Theismann now is rolling out to the right. He's looking for a receiver. He's being rushed out there. He's going to run with the ball. He's at the 30. He's at the 25. He's at the 20. He's down to the 10. And he's finally tackled on the 9-yard line, but there's a flag on the play.
Hoskin was so upset on that play, Van, he ripped off his helmet and threw it down because the flags have been dropped because of Hoskin blocking, I believe. Dewey was trying to throw a legitimate block, I believe, on a 7-cal man down there who turned around and turned his back to him so that it ends up as a clip. And it's going to be 15 yards, bringing it back out, and the Irish will have to go after that yardage all over again. That's correct. It is the clip. The block was a clip. It looked like a clean block beginning as Hoskin went into it. The 7-cal man turned his back to him, making it a clip. And it's brought back out to the 40-yard line of Southern California, where we'll have third down all over again. Third and long yardage now.
That was a daring and exciting run by Theismann. He's got third down and 14 now. He's got a double wing formation. He's going back to throw. The rush is on. He throws one to Gatewood. Gatewood is up to 35. Gatewood is down to the 31, and he's tackled on the 31. Slough made the tackle. They tried to set up the screen pass in the right flat, but the secondary Slough filtered into the screen and brought him down. Notre Dame has 97 yards rushing, 77 in this half. Hempel is coming in, so he's got to try one. Now, he's got to breathe a sort of a crosswind, Al, but a little bit at his back.
Well, this may be, a little bit at his back, but it's going to be a tough angle that he's kicking at from the 20-yard hash mark in from the far sideline.
It'll be a 48-yard field goal attempt. 48-yard attempt. Theismann will hold. The kick is up. The kick is in that direction, but it looks like it's hit the crossbar, believe it or not. A 48-yard attempt and hit the crossbar.
What a tremendous drama packed into an afternoon at South Bend, Indiana. 14-14. Southern California, Notre Dame. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in this football game in the fourth period. Notre Dame with a 48-yard field goal attempt. The ball hit the crossbar and bounces away. Southern Cal takes over first down, their own 20-yard line. John McKay's boys are 80 yards away from pay dirt, man.
Well, there's one that they'll talk about for a long time here at South Bend. The ball hit the crossbar. We got 2 minutes to go. Chandler is flanked out right along with Dickerson. Jimmy Jones going to try to pull it out now for Southern California. He's back to throw. It's incomplete. Intended for Chandler. That stops the clock. So it'll be second down and 10 to go for the Trojans from their own 20. Joe Theismann making a daring and exciting run, only to be nullified by a clipping penalty. And then Scott Hempel's 48-yard field goal attempt hit the crossbar. Evans goes out, Covington is in, and that's the way they go here now for the Southern California Trojans. Wide to the right is Dickerson. In the slot to the right is Bob Chandler. The I formation, second and 10 from the Southern California 20 with the score tied at 14 all. Jones giving on the draw to Davis. Davis is hit by Olson at the 24-yard line. Bob Olson hit him.
And when he hits you, he hits you. This fella comes at you with the helmet down, buries it right in the pit of your stomach or right in your chest. He really whacks you where it hurts. Olson, I've pointed out before, is a great captain for the Irish, a real fighter. But Southern California has come driving right back. They've taken that football and they will take it on the ground and try to drive it at you. They'll try to ram it right straight up the middle and make yardage.
Southern California has 115 yards rushing, 82 by Davis. Third and 6. And here's Jones going back to throw. McCoy puts the rush on it. And the ball is batted down in there by Petrucci, the left end. It's McCoy putting the pressure on it. And it's fourth down for Southern California, and the Fighting Irish will get another shot at it.
Ross Patelski is the man who batted that football away. The big guy from Liverpool, New York, who plays the defensive left end. He was quick. He's plenty fast. And incidentally, a very fine student man. Patelski is a law student at Tulane. That's Notre Dame.
1 minute and 16 seconds to play. John Young is back in kick formation. Llewellyn is deep for Notre Dame. John Young is back on the 10-yard line. He gets his kick away. It's a high, wobbly kick. Goes out of bounds. Right into the Notre Dame bench. Somewhere around the 44 or 45-yard line. They'll have to line it up from an angle. I believe it's going to be the 46-yard line. It was a 30-yard kick. Now Notre Dame will have the ball. First down and 10 to go from their own 46-yard line. We have a minute and 10 seconds of playing time remaining. With the score, Southern California 14 and Notre Dame 14. And Theismann racing into the huddle now. He's got a minute and 10 seconds of playing time remaining. We've got a cliffhanger at South Bend, Indiana today. So we hope wherever you are across the nation that you're getting as much of a thrill out of this one as we are in South Bend, Indiana. Denny Allen is flanked out to the right. Gatewood is split to the left. Here's Theismann going back to throw. The rush is on. He throws it to Gatewood. Gatewood is caught from behind at the 50-yard line and knocked out of bounds. He is knocked out of bounds. Forced out of bounds there by Bob Jensen, and Smith is the man that hit him right on the 50-yard line, so it'll be a gain of 4 yards on the play. Second down and 6. 1 minute, 4 seconds to go. When he went out of bounds, that stops the clock.
And I have a feeling the Irish are passing along the word from the sidelines down there. If you're anywhere near the sideline, fight for that chalk line. That'll stop the clock. That'll save time. 50 yards away from pay dirt, Notre Dame at the midfield stripe. Theismann with two flankers, the double wing formation, and Theismann now handing it off here to his halfback Allen, who is belted by Al Collins, who diagnosed the play perfectly and hit him right on the 44-yard line. So it'll be third down coming up. Third down and timeout called by Notre Dame. So there's a timeout with a score. Notre Dame 14, Southern California 14. 50 seconds, that's all the time that remains. And what a battle this has been this afternoon. The Irish and the Trojans, 14-14. And we've had the pleasure on two successive occasions of seeing ties between these two great football teams as they battle for the inches. They battle for everything. They give it a tremendous effort. 21-21 last year as the Trojans and the Irish battled in Southern California at the Coliseum. And now here this afternoon at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, it's 14-14 after a scoreless first half. Van, ready to go now with a third and 12 situation from the 44-yard line of Notre Dame. The ball belongs to the Irish. Gatewood is out to the right. Split to the left is Ziegler. One step back is Bars. Allen's in the slot to the right. And Theismann is going back to throw. Theismann is being rushed out there, and he's going to be pulled down back on the 35-yard line by Cody Smith. Also in there
for Scott. So back on the 34-yard line, and it's fourth down, and a timeout is called by Southern California. Now, the one situation here is we have 35 seconds to go, and Notre Dame is forced to kick. And they will have to kick from deep in their own territory. D'Arietta is in there, and the line of scrimmage is the 34-yard line.
Well, Ben, as you said before and earlier, a couple of times, this ball game goes right to the last second. And right now, Southern California is battling for those last few seconds and another shot at a score. Notre Dame had come out of the huddle. The officials say no, go back. Next Saturday night, from old New Orleans, from the Sugar Bowl, we'll be on hand to bring you the battle between Notre Dame and the Green Wave of Tulane. Coach Ara Parsegian and Coach Jim Pittman of Tulane opposing one another for the first time. Quite a ball game coming up.
Tyron Hudson is dropping back with Sandy Durko in the double safety spot. D'Arietta will kick from inside the 25, and he boots it high. A high floating kick. The fair catch is called for on the 32, 33-yard line by Durko. 32 yards on the kick. We have 28 seconds to go. The ball is on the Southern California 33. It belongs to the Trojans. So, Southern California and Notre Dame have been battling out here all afternoon. They're right back where they started. They're tied at 14-14.
What do you say we take, say, 10 minutes timeout and then go at it again?
Sudden death. Southern California stopped the clock with 28 seconds to go. So let's go down to Bill Etherton now and see what's happening down there.
Well, the Notre Dame bench is quiet indeed, and Mike McCoy is the man they rallied around a moment ago as the Irish defensive unit came on the field. Quick note, there have been no major injuries with the exception of Mike Kadish and his sprained knee of Notre Dame, which occurred in the first half of the game. Back up to you.
All right, Bill, and the ball is on the 33 when play is resumed. We'd like to express our appreciation to the two publicity directors, Roger Valdesari of Notre Dame and Don Anderson of Southern California, for their help on the broadcast today here at South Bend, Indiana. The ball on the 33. It'll be first down and 10 to go for Southern California when play is resumed. That's the longest timeout we've had today. A long, long time. Wide to the right goes Chandler. Split out to the left now is Dickerson. And Jimmy Jones now with one last effort is going to try to pull it out. And he throws it, and it is caught at the 42-yard line. And caught in there by the tight end Mullen. Now they're in the 2-minute drill. They're lining up quickly. And the ball is on the 42-yard line. Out of it they come quickly with a first and 10. And Jones now with one step back at Evans. And Jones that throws their sideline pass. It's batted back to Jones. And incomplete. Those big linemen of Notre Dame in there. That stops the clock with 5 seconds to go. It's Notre Dame 14 and Southern California 14. What a ball game we've had here today. On the 42-yard line, Jones went to the sideline. It's third down. Third down coming up. Out of the huddle they come. Chandler's out to the right. This may be the last play of the ball game. But you can be sure of one thing. Jones is going to throw this one as far as he can. He goes back, slips down. He slipped down. He slipped down and he went back to the 42-yard line. He slipped. The gun goes up. The ball game is over. And Southern California and Notre Dame have battled to a 14-14 tie. In just a moment, we'll present the wrap-up of today's game.
Let's go down to the sidelines now and get a moment or two of summary on this afternoon's 14-14 tie between Notre Dame and Southern California. From Mutual's Bill Etherton. Bill?
Well, right down here on the sidelines, right behind the Notre Dame band, Alan, just a moment ago, it was Ara Parsegian walking out to the center of the field to shake hands with Southern California's John McKay. Both had a very intent expression, and Ara reminded me one time a couple of years ago that playing to a tie is like kissing your sister. It's not very rewarding. But it was a great classic here, and I think that the drama and excitement all began so appropriately with the return of former Notre Dame captain Rocky Blyer, who presented the colors today before they were run up on the flagstaff across the way. Rocky is back on convalescent leave from Vietnam, having been wounded there. And as you know, we had him on throughout the first period, and he said, Bill, it looks to me at that time there's going to be another titanic struggle, and I played in several myself, and Southern Cal looks just as big, if not bigger than they did before. So he proved prophetic here today, and I think everybody is going away well satisfied with a tremendous performance from two great football teams here this afternoon. The band strikes up, and for Bob Fleshley, this is Bill Etherton returning it up to you in the Mutual booth, Al Wester.
Notre Dame 14, Southern California 14. We'll be back in just a moment. Broadcast booth at South Bend, Indiana. Al Wester along with Van Patrick and Bill Etherton wrapping up the Notre Dame battle this afternoon with Southern California. A 14-14 tie, and what a game. A scoreless first half, 0-0. In the third period, Notre Dame on the scoreboard first. 5 minutes into the third quarter, Billy Bars over left tackle from 1 yard out as the Irish move 74 yards in 11 plays. 2 important passes caught by Dewey Popkin, and Notre Dame led in the third period 7-0. 6 minutes later, Southern Cal back to tie the game. An 18-yard pass to Terry DeCry. 75 yards in 11 plays by the Trojans, 7-7 as the fourth quarter started. And 56 seconds into that fourth period, Southern Cal went ahead 14-7. A 15-yard pass to Sam Dickerson. 2 plays by Southern California, and it was 14-7, the Trojans in front. With 6:45 remaining in the football game, Big Mike